blizzard they do ride. Bread and butter and faithful hounds beside. The faithful folks of 10 towns they defend, and the riding folks of 10 towns they offend. With flaming sword and staff and dart, they'll pierce the veil, strike at the heart of the rill. My forces, they do not know they are heard. My forces, they do not know they are watched. All the lonesome cry of forgotten beasts will save us all or be a feast for winter. Okay. Yeah, that's a good starting place. Rough draft, Everybody's a Mimic theme song, Rime of the Frostmaiden. Take one. You wouldn't forget. It's cold on the mountain tonight. Yes, it's cold on the mountain tonight. And we need someone to save us. We need someone who's ready for a fight. Onward through the blizzard they do ride.
Hello everybody out there on the Twitchverse and the internets, and maybe in the future when the monkeys rule the world, or potentially in the future where it is very frosty and snowy. We are Everybody's a Mimic, an actual play 5th edition D&D webcast, playing Rime of the Frostmaiden in Icewind Dale. I am Corey, your dungeon master, and I'm joined by a lovely crowd of adventurers. We have all 4 of our adventurers, and we're going to go off one by one, introducing them. First off, we have Blake, who is
me. Yeah, I'm playing Dell.
Next,
give me my screen time, Corey.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. How has Del Nadri spent the last month off that we've had?
In fear that one of his party members is about to be killed by this clan chieftain.
It's a good way to spend the last month. Next up, we will go over to Ben, who plays
Levi Corvallis.
Levi kind of has a little bit of a country accent there. Did I catch that? Was I the only one who caught that?
Was there a country accent?
It sounded like.
I don't know why you as a person sound more country today.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Perhaps that's it.
Yeah.
It's the use of power tools that does that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns you into a southern dad.
Yeah.
So how has Levi spent his last month?
That's a good question. Last I heard, we were playing some goat ball, and I'm not entirely sure of what's going on right now. So Levi has been also nervous about this situation that Del has described.
Okay, wonderful. Next up, we have Carson, who plays
Bitte jättemate Tunlekalaga.
And how has Bitte spent his last month?
Bitte has spent his last month just making a shit ton of bone art.
Just patiently
yeah.
waiting.
Any
Yeah.
bone art have you been?
Just polishing his bones.
Hmm. Hmm. Wonderful. Wonderful. Excellent.
Yeah.
And last up, we have Ray, who plays.
Play Rosemary Bone Crusher. And occasionally Bree Tea Leaf, but that's a whole other thing. Um, and I think I've spent the last month, or Rosemary has spent the last month, I think, atoning for her goat ball sins. Yeah, the shape shifting that apparently is against the rules purist, who is Bitday's sister.
Yes, yes, it is against the rules purist. It is a not technically breaking, but a twisting of the rules as
I
Bitte's
thought
sister.
there were no rules.
Yes, but there while there are no rules, there is still the soul of the rules, and you twisted that soul.
Rosemary, like, oh, I'm gonna make Bitte's family so proud of me, and then shows up as like, you broke the unspoken like taboo of being weird and goat ball.
It's about the goats.
It's about the goats.
Exactly. So we are back in, and as our players had kind of described in the last session, we had taken a trek from Caer Koenig towards the Goliath village of Wormdoon Crag, where Yibite was born and raised. On our way to the village, to a Yeti village way up in the hills, so that we could ask a question, or Bitte and them could ask a question about a potential visitor that had wandered into the Black Cabin. On the way over to Wormdoon Crag, across the icy tundra, they encountered a very bloodthirsty Alpha Yeti. Alpha Yeti? Veteran Yeti?
Abominable.
It was kind of a beta Yeti.
Yeah, abominable Yeti, who very nearly cut Levi and Del Nadri in half. Although being scared off,
Beta energy.
although being scared off enough for them to escape, or rather not scared off, but slowed enough for the players to escape, the Yeti persisted nonetheless. And when they were hiking up to the mountains just outside of the entrance to the Wormdoon Crag, they were set upon by the abominable Yeti once again. This time, however, the players were able to show him who's boss. Kind of gave him a couple of a black eye. Actually, I think what was it, Del? An arrow through the eye.
Yeah.
He no longer has that eye.
Yeah, he no longer has that eye. But he did escape, very wounded, off to the side of the mountains to fight again one day in the future. Perhaps bring
By the
his
skin of his teeth, as
Yeah.
Bitte just chased him.
Yes, exactly. And so the players were able to make their way finally into Wormdoon Crag, where they met a couple of Chewinga who believe Del Nadre has a Chewinga on. Does everyone have a Chewinga with them right
I think
now?
we all have one.
We
I
all
believe
have a
so.
Chewinga.
Yeah. We all you guys all have a Chewinga on your shoulders with you. Rosemary has a Chewinga in a purple dress. I remember this. Who is very fascinated with putting their heads in your mouth. It blanks on me the personality of the other Chewinga. But they are, in all intents and purposes, following along as most Chewinga have found themselves to do with our adventuring party. Then you guys witnessed the end of a goat ball game played by Bitte's rival, with a team headed by Bitte's rival, who then challenged you guys to a goat ball game. You learned the rules pretty quickly, and through some, as Bitte's sister has put it, twisting of the pure soul of the game, were able to overcome and rout the other team quite quickly and satisfyingly, putting a black mark on the Bitte's rivals' record. This is the night before this great goat ball tournament. On the eve, you are on the eve of Bitte's father's death, and as we had briefly talked about it, and we will learn more about this session, the fateful Gopal match that started the feud between the two Goliath clans, the Goliath clans of Wormdoom Crag and the Goliath clans of Sky Tower's Shelter. After visiting briefly with Bitte's family and Bitte's rival's family, Gary's family, and after healing an Aarakocra,
Aarakocra.
Aarakocra, I know it has an extra K there, Aarakocra, you healed Siki. You have now made your way into the main kind of cave of Wormdoom Crag. And as the party walked up, Chieftain Ogalai Orc Splitter Thun Kalaga, who was sitting at the large campfire there, stood up, grabbed her axe, and a beautiful, intricately carved axe with a haft made of white dragon bone and a glorious and sparkling and just pure white cloak billowing behind her, as if there is no wind at all, as if there was wind in this cavern. Hefted her axe onto her shoulder and shouted out to the cave, Finally, I have the opportunity to put my middle name to good use. Have at thee, half-orc. Feel the heft and weight of my axe as it comes down upon you. And she brings it up with both hands straight above her and is swinging down. And that is where we stopped. And that is where we will pick up for today's session.
Fun times. Do I get a reaction?
Well, how does Rosemary reacting to this? I mean, you're a fierce but timid creature. I don't know if those two really go well together, but fierce with your friends, fiercely timid.
Fiercely timid.
You kind of walked up, and this is the chieftain here, right? You're in a cavern with at least 9 other Goliath warriors.
So I'm not very dexterous. I'm not very strong. I think she's just like so not expecting like someone to be coming at her with an axe right now. I think she's just gonna scream and gonna try to get out of the way.
All right.
Beta will step into the way of the axe.
Okay. And Bita, you're just going to step into it with your forehead?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh my god.
Goodness.
Don't kill Bite because Rosemary's a fucking coward.
Are you going to like defend yourself at all, or is this more of a show of strength and not flinching?
No, Beta's just gonna step in the way of it because she taught him most of what he knows about being a warrior, and he trusts her to be able to stop the axe and be in full control of everything she's doing. So he thinks just stepping in the way is all she needs.
Get her to stop.
Okay.
It's not really a bravery thing, it's a trust thing.
Right. Okay. Let's roll this attack on the chieftain. I'm gonna go with a plus, probably a plus 8, with a plus 8 here. Yeah. All right.
Also, he is wearing a helmet, so he's got that going on.
A plus 8. She kind of swings it, and when it comes down just ever so softly, right on the tip, like just kind of like taps your helmet, and she chuckles a little bit, and she's like, Good boy there, Bette. I thought you well. But you, half-orc. Well.
Hey, I'm Rosemary. Please don't axe me.
I would have thought your people were a bit more strong-willed, but perhaps it is the half side of your family. Humans were always quite weak, weren't they?
I'm a druid. I prefer not to swing axes as a way of greeting people, but I respect your culture. And nice to meet you.
Yes. Bete, been quite a time since you've come home. For what do we owe this visit? Did the thought of Gary taking another victory, goad you into returning from your adventuring?
In truth, I had forgotten that it was time for the tournament.
You forgot it was
And
the time for your father's death? I mean, not the anniversary of your father's death? Or you just didn't want to come home this year?
well, I've had a lot on my plate, and he's, I don't know. Gary's, rarely in my thoughts.
I wish that was
My
the truth
father,
for Gary. He honestly can't ever shut up about you. Go on.
really, honestly, kind of sweet almost. No, I've just been. We've had many things going on. I think it is. We have some pressing missions at hand that led us back this way.
Yes, well,
Seemed only right to stop by.
that
I
is
hear you're having a spot of importance yourself beyond the tournament.
We definitely are. Your mothers are out right now, performing a check of our borders. This is a very trying time. Well, we've ever come into direct contact with the Sky Tower Goliaths. Still, could never be too sure. They are. Our scouts say that they're hurting up there, and those who are desperate do desperate things. We live with quite bountiful prosperity down here, a bit lower in the mountains. Still, this business you speak of, is this something we can assist you with?
Perhaps we are seeking to find more information on the ongoing winter, and we have what seems like a decent lead, and we're following another traveler who may have been coming either in secret or simply quietly through this territory.
Probably would have to be coming in secret or quietly. Haven't heard of very many passerbys. We rarely get traders from 10 towns nowadays. The winter being as rough as it is, nobody really wants to go into, well, areas where the winter has always been miserable. A lot of it being more miserable than they could ever expect is something that scares away those who are weak of heart. Ogalai turns to Del Nadri and Levi, says, speaking of which, those who are weak of heart, we don't, as I mentioned, get very many fair-skinned creatures, humans, and finely sculpted humans. She looks over there at Levi.
He winks.
What?
Wait, so I'm the fair-skinned one?
Yes. You don't look like you get very much sun.
Fair.
Like I said, yes, fair-skinned. Anyway.
I think just non-Goliaths and non-orcs.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's the color range outside of grays and greens.
Yeah. So yeah, she looks to Del and
Del
Levi.
Nadre is more supple skinned, if you know what I mean.
He's well tanned.
No, he's fair skinned. He can't be well tanned and fair skinned, can he? Can you?
No, Del Nadre is fair skinned and also soft skinned.
Oh,
Is
okay.
what Levi
Fair
said.
and supple, like a good leather coat. Excellent.
Mm,
No, I think supple means soft, doesn't it?
You can have some supple leather coats.
You want you want a good leather jacket or good leather coat to be supple.
Yeah, you don't
That's
want it
true,
to be
that's very
too
true.
Are we making
tough.
a jacket out of Levi? I don't understand this conversation.
No. We're making a jacket out of Del Nadre.
It depends on
No,
who's
no,
less
I don't
vicious.
want to.
Del Nadre
I don't want to. How did we get?
and Del Nadre
here?
can provide us some tips because he's a textiles merchant.
It puts the lotion on its skin. Sorry.
I know that. Who
So
told you?
no. Ogolai hasn't said
Anyway.
this is me. Anyway, what why do you follow Bitte so high into the mountains? Is it personal? Is he helping you with something? Or do you just want to test the mettle of your soul, of your resolve? Because if you want to test the mettle of your resolve, then I have a test for you. Should you fail, Bitte, you will take your friends away. We don't have time to be babysitting non-Goliaths. You will take them away in return and help us in the upcoming war. Should they succeed, then we will have a feast.
Sorry, is she saying, should we succeed in the goat ball or should we succeed in helping them with
Should you succeed in this test of resolve that she has now
She hasn't specified it yet.
hasn't specified
okay.
it yet, yes. Now, Bitte, you can
What
roll
is-
you can roll history to see if you might be able to remember what the test is. It's something you did a long time ago, kind of part of your coming of age.
Yeah,
Excellent.
beat
Yeah, your adventures and your experiences have made it kind of vague. It was a very trying test. Perhaps you blocked it out.
mm-hmm.
That's not a good
And
sign.
wait for Beta is just like, I have no idea what she's talking about. And then we go over to like this cave that's full of flamethrowers, and he's like, the Flamethrower Cave. Oh,
Of course, the Flamethrower Cave.
There was also a written math portion. I couldn't remember which was harder.
And then there's the Piranha Lake and the
And
The ice
yeah, no,
piranha.
I remember this. I thought you
ice
were maybe out of.
piranhas.
Yeah, no, this is fine. You'll be fine. Pushes Dell into the Flamethrower Cave.
Yeah, don't forget the hallway where they fire you down a cannon and there's just spinning blades just going through.
There's the Pit of Pain.
Pit of pain.
It's great. It's good times.
Full of bread.
It's some good shared trauma, y'all.
Yeah. And should you come out, you can be a Goliath warrior. You just automatically come out as a Goliath. Belvanger goes in a human or a Kalistar, comes out a Goliath.
Point out the phrasing here was a little odd. Like, you started things off by saying, oh, if you want to be tested, I've got a test for you, and then you listed off all of these things. You make it sound like, what if I just say I don't want to do the test?
Then I say I don't have any time to deal with you, and I'd politely ask you to leave.
Then we're not welcome in the town.
I get the feeling politely asking someone to leave in Goliath culture means something a little different than what I think it means.
As long as I don't have to do
Leans over,
math
like, yeah, I
for
think-
this test, I'm good.
Considering their version of a polite greeting.
Still, I cut us off. I got too excited about this test of resolve. Why have you followed Bitte so high up into the mountains?
Well, we had like some questions about stuff.
Well, mostly because I knew the way. It is not really a power structure related idea, but
So, Bitte, you are serving the orc? I taught you so well. I know
I mean,
you
I
have
like to prefer that we're friends in an equal relationship, but
I don't get this. I don't understand equal standing in grouping. You can't all be four. A goat ball team has a captain. Who is your captain?
depends on what we're doing, because if we're playing goat ball, there's different people that have expertise in goat ball versus fighting things. I like to think I'm good at healing.
You can't just choose your leader depending on what you're doing. That's I guess you can't. There's total chaos.
Has the goat ball team ever changed its captain?
Never. The only time once you become a goat ball captain, you die a goat ball captain.
What if you're just a really bad captain?
Then you probably die really bad goat ball captain.
Yeah, it's actually a situation that solves itself quite often.
That is fair. I didn't think about that.
I mean, we did talk about how Bitte's father died from a goat ball accident. Not to say he was a bad goat ball
I'm hoping
captain.
he wasn't a bad captain. I hope that was just a freak accident.
Whether or not he was a bad captain doesn't matter because he died such a glorious death. Everyone overlooks any other kind of shortcomings he had.
He was
in his
also
life.
not a bad captain.
Yeah.
He wasn't secretly a bad dad and a bad person, but he just did this. No, we're not doing that. we're not doing that. Talking
Not
good
the
about
story that
people
we're
just because
telling.
they croaked.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no. Bitte's father was excellent. He did suck at math, though. Ugh. He couldn't count rations worth a damn.
So let's
suck at
say
math.
you had a team that now their job is to do math. Would he still be the captain of that team?
He was the goat ball captain, so yes, he's the captain. I am chief captain of all goat ball captains. Therefore, I am the chieftain.
You're the captain.
I really don't understand because life
super
revolves
captain
around goat ball.
Society is just based on sports.
It is such a I don't know what to say. It is a
staple of your culture.
Exactly. Yes. Everything is made of goats. Goats all the way down.
It's goats all the way down.
It's all
That's
goats
objectively
and it's all
not
balls.
true. I'm just saying that's not true. Like, you're not made of goats.
We are made of goat stuff.
Have you seen what
Stuff.
parts make up a goat? Have you seen what parts make up a human?
Yeah, there's different stuff in there.
You cut both up and it looks like pretty similar stuff.
Yes.
They've got like different eyeballs than we do.
Yeah, I will say anatomically there are some differences. I had to learn in a lot of my medical stuff that there are lots of differences between goats and humans.
We are simply goats who have evolved to become Goliaths. Why do you think both of our names start with G-O?
What about that rock?
It is a goat rock. Petrified goat from millions of years ago.
Anyway. I think we're getting
Beta's just nodding, looking back and forth between them and her.
Is this the test of resilience?
No.
I have to survive this conversation?
We are on a journey to a higher settlement. And
what higher settlement is this? Bitte, are you taking them to see them?
No, it is a different settlement. It is a Chewinga settlement on the backside. We think they may have some hidden wisdoms about the elemental nature of this winter phenomena.
Chewinga settlement. Why have you not told us before? We could have had more Chewingas here. They are wonderful little creatures. I absolutely love them. Every now and then I like to sprinkle one of them in my soup. Delicious. The Chewingas that are on each of you definitely hide.
Yeah, I was going to say my Chewinga is hiding in my hat.
If you see some of them, I know there were some that were hiding in the bone skull. My arm's just a bit too. She kind of like flexes and there's just this absolutely ripped arm. Pure like muscle veins just bubbling out, bursting out, bubbling out of the skin. It's a definitely a bodybuilder, but more like a world's strongest person competition arm. My arms are just too big to get into those little tiny cracks.
Rosemary is doing like lesbian brain versus feminist brain, where she's like kind of staring, but then she like notices and then she looks away, and then she kind of looks back and then she looks away.
that is lovely.
It's like shit.
Anyways, Bitte, well, we've told you. You're not supposed to disturb them. They have a higher calling. I know they have accepted you into their culture, but what you're doing is unnatural.
Is she talking about Schwingas?
No. You know what she's
No.
talking about.
Okay. It is what it is.
Well, I hope they can assist you and your friends. For whatever reason you are coming here, questioning our sacred goat codes and ethics and anatomy.
Sacred Goat Anatomy.
But let's get this show on the road. Del Nadre. Levi?
Beto reaches up and absently grabs one of the horns on his helmet.
To do something with it?
No, just like
Oh, okay.
grabs it like a because goat anatomy.
Yeah.
Oh.
God.
I thought it was like a Yeti horn, and you were like still thinking about like the other settlement
No,
up there.
Yeah.
It is a yeti horn, but as they have goat-like horns, they're closer to the goat, which is the natural, which is the
Oh, so that's
perfect form of living. Yeah.
that's why they're revered, is they're closer to the goat.
Yeah, they are
Mhm.
revered. Yes. Anyways, Del Nadre, Levi,
Mhm.
come now.
Yes.
Follow me. We must go to the tunnel of testing. The tot.
Am I going to the tot?
You
Is
may,
it just them?
You may watch. I have already seen your resolve, Rosemary. It did not.
I
make
mean,
me
if I
happy.
could. Oh, okay. Could I try again?
Should I
She
heal
She picks
before
her
we
axe up
go?
again. Oh yes, you're healed. Sorry. Any heal that's any life that you've been like missing, if you try to put yourself back to max health. But Ogalai looks to Rosemary and says, "We can try your test of resolve again if you wish." And she kind of hefts the axe and like slaps it into your hand a couple of times. But trust me, I will not go easy.
Let's revisit that after the tot.
Yeah. As I thought so. Let them resolve. Let them test themselves and earn the respect of my people for you. All right. So she kind of like walks down a little bit and is going to walk over here and kind of goes over here to this northeastern little corner and says, "Follow me, please."
Okay.
Like over here, you said?
Yep.
Or wait, where is she going?
She's up to the northwest.
Northwest. So like, oh, okay. Sorry, she got lost in the other Goliaths.
Yes. Going this way. Excellent. Good. Wonderful.
Rosemary turns to Bitte and I'm like, wait, should we be going with them?
Yeah.
What do we like? Just jump in this hole?
Do not jump into the hole. You must mentally prepare yourself before you jump into the hole. I would only think of the horrors that would be visited upon you should you just absent-mindedly walk in.
There are stronger things than you think, Ogalai. Even so, I have my full confidence in you.
We shall see, Bitte. I hope. I really do. I hope for the future of you and your family and of our people, that you have brought good warriors to our clan that will help us in the coming conflict with the Sky Tower shelter. But we shall see whether or not they will be thrown out into the cold early or stay with us and feast upon magnificent goat meat. So, as you walk into this little cavern, the floor of this 15-foot high cavern bulges in the middle with a 5-foot diameter hole on each end of the upright part, making the ends of a tunnel. The exterior of the bulge is covered in runes inscribed on every surface. So that's right there in the middle. Basically where Butte is standing, he's kind of just sitting on top of a big hill. At the back of the cave, an elderly male Goliath, sits with 3 adolescent Goliaths around a campfire. The elderly Goliath is dyeing scraps of cloth and leather in a bucket of greenish liquid and sending them to dry on a wooden rack, while the adolescents stitch other scraps into garments for dolls that they are fashioning. Scores and scores of old dolls rest in the niches along the cave walls, staring outward. So, the elderly Goliath, as Ogilai introduces you to him, is named Demolok Nightwalker Thun Kalaga, and he are currently making some ceremonial ceremonial dolls with the Goliath Youths. The Goliath Youths that are here are named Jagrick, Kaga, and Zuri. Jagrick is the first one. He kind of stands up and he looks at Levi and he looks at Del Nadri and he looks back at the Demolok and he kind of just throws his arms up. What is this? Is this not a sacred tradition? Why are they here? Ogilai, speak to this. Demolok, tell me. I thought this was my coming of age, to see visions of my ancestors, to be put to the test if I am a true Goliath. How can I rely on this test to even be able to properly manage and determine my mettle if these tiny people, kind of looking down on Levi and Del Nadre, are able to pass it? Would that not put into question the true difficulty of this test? Ogilai kind of just laughs and chuckles a little bit. Bitte, seeing the tunnel once again, do you remember? Do you remember what happened to you all those years ago?
Does Beta remember?
So, yes.
He's just like curled up in the corner, rocking himself.
So essentially, you remember that this tunnel is meant to test young Goliaths on the cusp of adulthood and impart the wisdom from knowing one's own character. It's a test of character. You crawl from one side of the tunnel to the other. You kind of have visions almost as now that you're looking at, like, remembering it again, because it was a time of your life that you almost did try to block out. The visions show you of your true fears. It is not for the faint of heart, and it forces them to experience true aloneness. Now, Bit, even though you kind of you went through and you were successful, it was this tunnel that kind of set you on your path for that. What did you call it? The lonely?
The high lonely.
The high lonely. Had you failed this, you do not believe you would have been the Bitte you saw, and what you saw in those tunnels set you upon the high lonely. And so knowing this, looking at Del Nadri and Levi, what could you give them in terms of advice or warning as they get ready to crawl into these tunnels?
As Beta kind of walks around the mounded center here, running his hand along runes, he comes to them each and he says quietly, when you enter. Can y'all hear me when I speak in that register?
Yes.
Yep.
When you enter, the most important thing to know is that there is no lying to yourself, to whatever it is that happens in there, about who you are and what you fear. Allow yourself to be you in a way that you do not normally. It is harrowing, but you can do this. And I will be waiting on the other side. And he tells that to tells that to Levi, and then he comes over and he tells it to Dell. And he does legitimately fear for the both of them a bit because he can tell that they both hide things about themselves from others and themselves. So he is definitely a bit worried about them, but he's also seen the kind of strength they have. So there's like a nervous but very resolved expression on his face.
Hmm.
Is Rosemary doing it as well, or no?
Not
Uh,
yet.
I'm
No,
I'm
okay.
not doing that, but looking between Dell and Levi, who looks more nervous.
I think Levi has been put through several tests of his mettle in his life, and this is just another one of those things. And so his resolve is strong, and I think he probably just nods at Beta in thanks for the sort of little pep talk. Um, and I don't think he looks outwardly nervous. I think he's perhaps like internally concerned because he still doesn't know the full nature of this test.
Mhm.
But I don't think he looks outwardly nervous.
Good.
What about Dell?
Dale probably just looks like he doesn't believe in this. He's like, yeah, okay. I've
Alright.
kind of been doing a little bit. I mean, I've died the other day, and I've been doing a little bit of mental gymnastics with my destiny and whatnot. I think I'm ready for your tunnel.
Rosemary's gonna pat Dell on the back and give him guidance.
Mhm.
So you have
Yeah.
a D4 for a minute on a ability check
Yeah.
of your choice.
Yeah.
Ro-
As they're getting ready to go, also Beta says, "On the bright side, you are much smaller than most of our youth, so you don't have to worry about getting stuck in there and dying."
Should I maybe go in over here so we don't like run into each other?
I think Levi actively chuckles at that one.
you will go. Ogolai kind of speaks up, but before she does, Rosemary, roll me a sleight of hand as you
Oh
try
no!
to give Delnaja guidance.
Motherfucker.
She kind of like she sees your hand glowing a little bit as you kind of like pat, and before you're even able to get that second pat where it would have actually like given him guidance, Ogolai almost like shoves her hand in between Delnadri and Rosemary and pushes him, so she intercepts that guidance. So Delnadri, you do not have guidance for this test, and she kind of just pushes you into the tunnel, Delnadri.
Ah,
She's like,
Okay, good luck.
best of luck. And in you go. So even though it's only a 5-foot tunnel, as you begin to crawl, you don't see the other side. You can't see through. And inside this tunnel is inscribed with runes, stories, lessons, and warnings. As you begin to crawl much longer than 5 feet you're sure that you are aware of right now, you're going to come upon your first test. The test of your strength. I'm going to need you to make
uh-oh.
a Constitution saving throw, Del Nadre.
Yoy. Okay. Okay.
That 14 is already with the +1, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is Constitution really a good test of strength and not just strength?
The strength of character, not actual strength.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So Del Nadre, you kind of continue to crawl, and you start to feel the walls pushing in on you, the darkness pressing against you. Your endurance wavers, becomes thin. You find you can no longer push forward. Your willpower is constantly telling you, give up. No more. Too hard. Go back the way you came. How long would you struggle to move forward? Or would Del Nadre, being who Del Nadre is, take this opportunity to move back? To kind of taking a look at it, to kind of crawl back and see
Oh,
if...
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna quit on the Goliath tunnel after they hyped it all up and I kind of made myself look like I didn't really feel like I was faced by it. I'm not gonna be an idiot.
All right. Okay. I will let you roll this with advantage then. But just know that whatever the next one is, if you fail it, you fail it. You were close enough. Damn.
It was a 19 and then it rolled over to a 9.
No. So unfortunately, Donadre, you find yourself being pushed back by the tunnel. The whispers of the "you're not enough," of it's not for you. This is not your place. You are not being true to yourself here. You are not being true to your party members. You are not being true to your life. Force you back out the way you came. Ogulai looks as you kind of crawl back out. Even though you had continued to go forward, we're backing up, you kind of come out the tunnel the other way. She looks at you and she's like, I could feel the energy.
It doesn't go all the way through.
I could feel the energy from your trial, Del Nadre. You were almost there. However, it is not, well, it is expected that you would not have been able to make it on your first try, especially knowing that you have missed the lessons that many Goliath children have gotten to this point. Should you wish to take it again, I will provide for you a bowl of cold, tasteless soup. No other sustenance will be given to you, and upon dawn you may take the test again. And in the meantime, Demalok will impart upon you the wisdom of our people. Or you can put your faith in Levi to be able to continue. And forever know that we will never honor you as one of our clan members.
I feel like this doesn't have to be an either or.
Levi mouths try again.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna do the thing, but I can do the campfire and still put my faith in Levi, right? Like,
Yes, of course.
I mean, that's just gonna happen.
But you must choose now whether or not you will take the test again.
Okay, yeah, I'll do it.
Good. Go sit next to Demalok. You take the strips of leather and cloth and make a doll for yourself as you listen to his stories.
I will do so.
All right. Levi.
Bisa opens
go
his
on.
eyes and he doesn't say anything to Del, but he just kind of gives him a nod.
You were very close, Del. 15 is the DC.
Yeah, I assumed.
You were so close, and I was like, I did steal that guidance from you. So I didn't want to take it completely away. But Levi.
To be fair, I don't know if he could have used guidance on a saving throw. I think it's just ability checks.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Well, all right, Levi. Okalai gestures to you and says, you seem to be a stronger person. I can tell from your posture you have a good sense of your honor. But we will see whether or not that is enough to carry you through life. Goliaths have the honor of their people and nothing more. Can you tell us that you have that? Can you show us that you are true to your word, true to yourself, and true to the world?
Not to make light of the situation, but you've sort of described my whole life and my whole point of existing in one sentence.
Then I guess we will see. Then I guess we shall see if your whole life is a lie, or if it is the truth that you tell us it is.
No pressure.
Enter the tunnel.
And he does it matter? Do I have to go in the same side as Del Madre did, or can I go in this side?
It is a magical tunnel. It does not matter.
Okay, I would just go in this side. And he goes in the tunnel.
Right. In a similar fashion as Del Nadre, you feel the walls, the darkness kind of push back on you, the whispers telling you that you're not enough, that you yourself not good enough. Make a Constitution saving throw that your strength is not going to be enough to come out of this alive.
I fucking hate this robot, man.
The robot
I love
hates
that
us today.
I know it's across all of my campaigns that I play on Roll20. I don't know what it is. Nexus horrible, Florian horrible,
Oh, good.
and in moments where I need him to be also horrible, right here with Levi. I do not understand what the robot has against me. It's fine.
Ugh, unfortunately, with a crit fail, Levi, you are forced out of the tunnel. The magic of the tunnel just buffets you back to the point where you kind of like get flung almost against the wall, but really you just kind of slide against the floor. Ogolai looks at you and says,
I think he leans against the wall and he looks back and he says, "You know, is it because I'm a human?"
"Are you? Do you believe it is because you are a human? Do you have something inside of you that betrays your soul? There are many things and many reasons why the tunnel would thrust you out, but a prime amongst them all is lies. Goliaths don't have time for lies. We live this life high in the mountains, surviving, and a lie, well, a lie is just life and death cannot survive with lies. Sure, we tell lies every now and then. Who hasn't had a white lie? But we do not lie about who we are, about our life, ourself. Once again, I offer to you the same that I have offered to Danadre. Sit, listen, learn the wisdom of our people, and we will come back tomorrow and let you try again."
I think his eyes narrow for a second. And I think this one royally pissed him off because the idea that he is not true to the world and true to himself in everything that he does and all of the good that he's done, I I think I have a hard time imagining Levi stomaching that well and being told that he's not enough when everything he's done has been for others.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
So how does Levi react then?
And I think he stands up and he looks and he says, "What could it possibly gauge if not my actions, if not my will upon this world? I have done nothing but assist others. I have done nothing but help those in need.
Mm.
I am true to myself and I am true to this world in ways that a large majority of the population are not. How could it possibly tell me I'm wrong?"
Well, that may be true, says Ogolai. You may give your life to others, be a generally good person. This tunnel does not determine if you are a good person. This tunnel determines if you are true to yourself. Does not know your past, does not know your future. It only knows what you, in your deepest, most inner thoughts, know. Not all Goliaths pass it on their first try. But they do eventually, if they live here. We are a forgiving folk in terms of between us and the Sky Towers. And that is why I have given you and Danadri once more another chance as outsiders to become honorary members of our clan, through largely the respect that I have for Bitte and his family. Do not call the tunnel a liar. It cannot tell lies. It cannot tell truth either. It is a tunnel. The magics that are engraved upon its walls are truly beyond our comprehension. But know that it is always proven to every single one that any Goliath that has come out of that tunnel alive, unscathed, has been a true Goliath throughout their whole life. So I cannot say that it is not right in its judgment of you, Levi. But I can say that perhaps you are just not ready to accept that judgment. Try again in the morning, or come join us for food. We must now put Rosemary here through her own test of metal.
Think for a second, for a split second, Levi eyes the tunnel and considers to just keep going right back in to get some sort of answer.
So you're just going to crawl right in there?
I
He
am
thinks about it.
considering it. I'm considering it, and I think Levi's really pissed off. All right, you know what?
You want to flip a coin?
I'll roll a d20 in the roll bot. If it's trying to divide it, if it's 10 or lower, he dives back in. If it's 11 to 20, he doesn't.
Okay.
Oh, now okay. All right, he doesn't. He just sort of like grumbles a little bit and goes to sit by the fire.
Oh my god, the dice spot has been the tunnel all along.
Clearly.
You
The
just
dice
don't
spot.
trust yourself. The dice spot is trying to teach you who you are.
All right. Well, Bitte, Rosemary, come now. We must put Rosemary through the test. Such a strong specimen like hers needs a more physical match. And they're going to walk
Alright,
back
so,
over.
so it's fight. I don't get the tunnel, right?
Do you want the
Okay.
tunnel? You've seen how your friends have done. I already tested your metal and could prove to you that I don't think you have what it takes. Not yet.
Has she seen Levi?
I will do whatever test you think is right.
Wonderful. Let us wrestle then. She's gonna
Okay.
walk. We're gonna walk over to the feasting table, and
It's
No, now-
wrestling. It's
now
not
Levi,
like
now Levi protests because Levi's like, "Why couldn't I do that?"
Yeah, like
me with my
how
zero
come-
strength is in a wrestling match.
like, oh, you look strong. We've got to test your strength while Levi is sitting here like angrily mashing a doll together with all of his muscles bulging.
And not paying attention to this lecture at all.
Yeah. Strength is different. She could tell Rosemary has the strength of character, but not the strength of body. At the same time, she could tell Del Nodri and Levi has the strength of body, not the strength of character. Or, perhaps. And Del Nodri, you were just
stick my
fair-skinned
tongue out
and suppled. You did not. She looked at you and says, "He has neither." To the tunnel for him. And it was never in a, Okalai she's quite nice. She's just very demanding. So, however, unlike what she had said earlier, when they do bring Levi and Del Nodre food, it is a quite hearty soup filled with plenty of chunks of goat meat, lots of potatoes and carrots, and although you aren't quite sure, you are vaguely believe that there is bits of a pine cone inside. All right. So let me move my map over.
I'm gonna give the pine cone to the Chewinga. Give him all my little pine cone bits.
Sticking your tongue out is a Goliath mating posture.
Oh
And
no!
Vita looks slightly confused, and then
All right, down we go.
it's their equivalent of blowing a kiss. It's not like, ooh, daddy, give me that D.
Oh god.
Wait, where did she go?
She went down to the south. Keep on going.
This way? I'm
Yeah.
in a war room.
Yes, it is
Is
it is a feasting hall. There is a giant trough filled with soup.
Nice.
All right. So Ogalai sits here at the end of the table. looks about, and in this cave there are 3 adult Goliaths cooking meat over a large rectangular fire pit. Which
Is it
above,
a bread trough or is it a regular trough?
it's like a
You
regular
know,
trough.
when they make a really really long loaf of bread and hollow it out
It looks
and
like
fiddle
they
a
have like
spoon.
a pig. It looks like they have like a pig trough that's slightly suspended over just a long bed of coals. That is what that is what they're making with their soup, and they're just constantly like walking it down and forth because you can't just spin it in one little section. You have to just like create a big circle back and forth. So they are cooking meat over a rectangular fire pit in the middle of this 15-foot high cave, while a Goliath youth distributes ceramic bowls of food to other Goliaths that are sitting and standing around the room on woolly rugs and furs. An elderly male taps a rhythmic beat on a large goatskin drum held beneath his knees. While he plays, a couple of Goliaths wrestle on the floor in front of him. Those seated near them occasionally move out of the way when the wrestlers roll too close to them. All right. So, Ogilai walks forward and kind of grabs Rosemary by the back of her neck and just by the scruff of her neck, yeah, and just throws you into the ring, kind of like making you almost push over and fall onto these 2 Goliaths that are wrestling. In the midst of it all, they kind of like get angry / just their adrenaline pumping, and so they start to wrestle with you as well. Let's roll some athletics.
Athletics. Okay.
This is a lesbian nightmare.
Like Jesus Christ. Okay. All right.
The first one gets a 9. And you get a 5.
5.
Very close. So the first the first Goliath, which was kind of wrestling with the other one, grabs like the back of your kind of like around your shoulder and then under your arm and starts to like flip you over. While the other Goliath, roll another contested roll.
Athletics?
Yep. Ooh. While the other Goliath tries to like catch you, but you're able to reverse yourself mid-throw to the point where you're able to like get up and straddle across his chest. Now, what do? You have the advantage here. How you saw that they're wrestling quite roughly, but at the same time seems friendly. How would you end this fight?
So would Rosemary know enough about wrestling to try to be able to pin him?
It's a good question. Would you? Is wrestling something? It doesn't seem like from your backstory that wrestling was a sort of like physical sport was something that Rosemary had done as a child.
Like definitely,
but would it have been part of the orc culture?
Yeah, Rosemary definitely, like, she might have. I feel like her father, like her orc side of the family, might have like tried to get her into it a little bit, and she kind of at a young age was like, not feeling this. Kind of like how like I know personally I got signed up for a lot of soccer teams and other various sports, and then just kind of ended up picking grass. So she might kind of know the rules. She just hasn't done it since she was very young, but like she's probably watched some orc wrestling matches before.
So now the better question is now that it kind of makes you have the you set it up, you know that your culture has it, but like you described in your own personal experience, you kind of just picked grass, right? So would Rosemary have been to the point where she was really interested while watching the orc matches, or would you have probably just watched the other, woodland creatures in the area?
You probably like cheer for her dad.
Okay.
And like it's like I don't know, I was in marching band, but I learned enough of football to get by. So probably she was on the like medic team for the wrestling matches where like she'd be there if anyone pulled something, but like she knows enough about it to know what is good and what's bad in a match.
All right.
She had a canteen full of pickle juice.
roll me a history check.
A history check.
As you try to remember these wrestling moves.
Oof.
All right. The only one you know is the people's elbow.
That sounds bad.
So instead of regular wrestling, Rosemary just picked up on the pro wrestling, and so she just starts to act like The Rock. And no. But still. All right. So you know what? I'll let you roll it with advantage. Try it again.
All right.
Okay.
13.
Slightly better. You were able to pick up on you remember a little bit, and you know that in the situations where you have you have the wrestling advantage, you straddle, you have your legs on this person's arms across his chest. You know that pinning him is you're kind of already pinned, but you got to knock him out. Whether you choose to do so by forcing him to tap or you just knock them out, both seem to be okay in orc culture. Bitte,
Orc
would you
culture,
would you
okay.
say such wrestling in the Goliath would be more similar? Or would they have had more rules where it's like very much a tap out versus like a UFC fight?
Hmm. That's tough to say. I feel like so Goliaths are very good at taking damage. They've got the stone skin thing.
Right.
So I feel like it's probably either you have to be pinned or you have to receive like a decisive blow
Right.
that on it that against the kind of enemies that they would normally fight, whether it be beasts or other humanoids, would be disabling.
Right. Okay. So
Like a people's elbow to the throat.
so
Yeah,
say
no, like a people's elbow. A
yeah.
people's elbow would be.
So that's to say, Rosemary, you don't necessarily have to knock him out, but you have to you have to get him down or pin him, and then deliver a very efficient, like a blow that makes him like, "Whoa, what happened?" Okay, yeah, you win.
Yeah, like
Could I?
in taekwondo stuff where they like you do the thing, you get someone in control and then you do like pantomime a like very vicious blow to their chin or something. It's like that, except you follow through and you actually punch them.
Okay. Could I, Mr. DM,
Yes.
do a medicine check to find the most efficient way of doing that?
Yes.
Okay. Mother,
Um.
it hates me. I have a +6.
Yeah. So
And my knowledge of like Bitte and like helping him with various injuries wouldn't give me any sort of advantage on Goliath
I mean,
anatomy.
you know that the throat is going to be pretty efficient on taking somebody out. Let's do this here though. 2 athletics checks. See if you can get it out, or else they're gonna have the advantage, and we'll continue from there.
Okay, 2 athletics checks. So I'm just gonna do all right, 3 and a 10.
Oof.
Now,
It
Corey,
doesn't like me today.
do they make athletics checks against each other, as this seems to be a three-way match?
The one that flung Rosemary onto the other one has stepped up and back because, in the spirit of it all, wasn't going to do a two on one, but they kind of just like the first one got it, flung it on the enemy, and then just kind of rolled away and stood up and is just watching right now. So it's very much Rosemary versus the one that she was able to pin. However, as Rosemary attempts to kind of deliver the finishing blow, the Goliath just withstands it and is able to kind of push Rosemary up and off. And the elderly male that was tapping the drum kind of just stops, and they all just kind of whisper a little bit. And Ogilai, off to the side, is like, "Ah, well, that was interesting, wasn't it, fellas? Who do you think she should go against now?" And they kind of all
And I
murmur.
do something very risky.
Yes.
I want to wild shape into a giant goat.
Yes. Yes. Ogilai, this is Ogilai in character now. Just screams, "Yes! She is mine, fellas. Oh, she has challenged our people in such a way that I have to honor her."
Alright, so as soon as Ogilite issues the challenge, I would like to make a charge at her, which I move 20 feet straight toward a target and hit it with a ram attack, and that they need to succeed on a strength saving throw, be knocked prone.
All right, wonderful. Let's do
Ram
this.
attack.
All
A
right.
ram attack!
Let me just make sure Ogilai doesn't have any special character or stats. I don't believe she will.
1 second, let me add these so that I can roll it real quick. Alright, melee, weapon, +5, strength, I think.
It's not. So Goliath warrior, which I've closed out of. Oh, she is so ready. I hope you are ready. Bum, 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 Boom, boom, boom.
One
Bum,
second.
bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, Ogalai kind of like throws her axe to the side, pulls her cloak off, and rips off like a majority of her shirt, just revealing beneath her just like a sports bra and absolutely ripped muscles, like a 12 pack, plus 2 extra side 4-packs on her side. Just this like massive, and she just like flexes it and just is like screaming at you, "Come on, bring it on, goat!"
All right, I'm gonna do the ram attack. So pray for me. Motherfucker.
She catches you by the head and just as she going picks you up, grabs your body into like a suplex, and then just lays back and just slams you against the ground. Is the suplex the one where they're between their legs? No, that's right. It's like where they pick them up and like
No, suplex is
like
the.
over the back.
It's what Yeah, it's when you grab them by the waist and then you go like backwards and slam their head into the ground.
So pretty much very similar to that. Kind of just like, except it's just kind of like grabs you by the upper so picks you up and then just lays back. I don't know what that is called. If it's similar to a suplex.
Yeah, I think that's the suplex.
Yeah, that's the suplex.
Okay, excellent. And just suplexes the goat, but then kind of like rolls back and steps back 20 more feet and just kind of, come on, bring it on. Now, how much health do you have as a goat?
I have 19 hit points.
19 hit points. So she would have definitely hit you with, let's just go with 2d6 here. Attack 11. You're down to 8. It was a pretty effective. I mean, you kind of rushed very at him, but you missed your mark because she caught you so well. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's try it
again. I
again.
think the goat Rosemary just kind of like plants her feet, tosses her head, and like does another ram. 17.
Ooh, all right, successful. Okay. Now you still have to do the so she doesn't catch your thing. You definitely hit.
So I need her to make a strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw. All right. Just gonna go with this. Okay.
Okay. So is it just the first one, or is it?
What is sorry, athletics was the first one. So what would be we'll take the first one. I'll just take I'll take it 2 less. So 11.
It's a DC 13 strength saving throw.
Then she does not succeed.
All right, she is knocked prone.
Knocked prone. All right, go. You are standing over her. What do you do?
I'm gonna do another ram and try to pin her down with my head/horns.
Well, you're already pinned her down. She's prone. You're standing above her. You're wrestling, but in goat mode. How do you are you just gonna like, just put your head down and like try to pin her neck with your horns, or are you gonna?
Yeah, I thought that might count as like a finishing move of like pinning with the horns to a point where like she either has to tap out or can't get back up.
You don't want to try to like beat her in the head with your head? Give her a headbutt?
I kind of imagine that was kind of what the ram would be just like slamming my skull into her, but
you did that.
Let's do that.
You did that. Now you're standing above her. You gotta finish her off. So you can.
Yeah, I'll slam my fucking goat head into her her head.
All right, roll a headbutt. All right, good. And it's prone, so I believe you have advantage, correct?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let me see.
Yeah.
You're gonna have
melee attacks within 5 feet.
15?
Excellent. All right, that will hit. Roll some damage.
All right. So that's 9 damage because the other 8 would be if I had the running up.
I'll give it to you. We'll do all of it, and you rolled a pretty good amount of crits on that damage roll, so that's successful enough that Ogalai, in her like just smiling as you beat her in the face, just kind of like slaps on the floor next to her and says, "Ha ha ha ha! Oh, that was wonderful," she says as she just almost too easily kind of like spins your legs out from underneath you, kind of like wheels herself around and is able to like get up quite easily, but still has like blood just streaming down her face. through, and you can, the only thing you can kind of really see clearly is just the bright of her pearly whites on her mouth, in her teeth.
Yeah,
As she
got
just
like the bloody smile.
exactly, and she just kind of like just like stands up and then headbutts you back.
Nice.
Um,
Rosemary, like as a goat, I think she like lowers her head kind of into a bow and then turns back into Rosemary. And I think some of that 11 hit points. I know it doesn't transfer back in, but just for like the sake, I like to think that she has a bloody nose.
well, I was gonna say I was actually gonna say that Oglai is gonna headbutt you to try to turn you back into Rosemary.
Oh, that works.
So let's see if it works here. If not, then you succeed. And let's see. I'd say a headbutt it like this. You have 8 health. I'm gonna do another 2d6.
Yeah, I have 8 health.
We'll do another 2d6. There's a good chance here I'll win. There's a good chance I won't win.
Yeah,
Ha
exactly enough.
So
So
headbutts you.
Rosemary turns back into Rosemary.
Yeah, headbutts your face, headbutts you, and just you. So Del Nadre and Levi, you just hear through the droning on of it, and it's a very boring, a very boring lecture that's going on where you guys are, but you just hear like the cave erupt in these cheers, coming from around the corner, as just a lot of hoot and hollering and just yes and amazing and general celebrations going about here. Oglai walks up to Bitte and just slaps you on the back of your neck. He's like, ha ha, ha, this is a good one. She may be timid, but she is fierce. She is fierce. Where did you meet her, Bitte? Is this the one? This is that Rosemary?
This is the one.
Oh, Rosemary, I've heard long about you, but honestly, whenever I saw you first react to my axe, I thought it couldn't have been her. Bitte would have picked a stronger-willed woman, but no. I see you have true strength. And to pick a goat, you do know our anatomy.
I have studied hard and I fight hard for my friends, and I apologize for the earlier first impression, but I hope that I have proven that I am willing to fight.
Ah, wonderful. Then I hope you will soon feel the squish of Sky Tower Goliaths beneath your blade when we go to war. I am happy to have you on our side.
She just kind of smiles and then looks very pointedly at Bitte. Like,
Anyways, bless, feast, enjoy. I'm sure many Goliaths here will want to fight you more and more in your goat form. Please oblige them as you wish. I don't know how much it wears you down.
I think if I take a break and have some soup, I can do that. God, is it a short rest or a long rest? Yeah, a short rest. If I sit down and have some soup, I can do it another 2 times.
Good. Wonderful. And you already have some Goliaths that begin to line up behind you. Now
It's very headbutting Goliaths all night.
Now let us go back to Levi and Del Nadre. Levi, Del Nadre, what kind of what wisdom do you believe you are getting from the history of the Goliaths here? Demoloch is, well, many Goliaths in the culture have joked that just sitting through his lectures is enough of a test of strength, as you kind of joked about earlier, Levi. But as you are sewing your dolls together, which, by the way, roll me I don't know, what would you say it would be to put together this doll? What check would you want to roll? Dexterity? Sleight of hand?
That's what I'm looking at my skills right now to see what makes sense. No, like I'm going down the list to see what makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, sleight of hand makes kind of sense. So does dexterity. I mean, dexterity is the general one, So I'll say it's a dex check, but you can use anything but athletics, which I guess, or acrobatics, which I guess would just be. Is sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand is dex, yeah.
Yeah. What else is dex?
Stealth.
Stealth.
Yeah, it doesn't
and
make
acrobatics.
any sense. Yeah, so you can do a sleight of hand, or you can do a dex check. Or Levi could roll a stealth check to have Del Nadre potentially do the check for him. and vice versa.
Yeah,
No,
but would he?
I think Levi is just angrily smashing together these like bits of cloth and straw or whatever in the shape of a vaguely humanoid thing, and he's just got his jaw clenched. And honestly, he is just getting more pissed off because he's already pissed off, and every time he starts to make progress on this doll, it like breaks in half because he keeps smashing it together.
Demolock looking at so Delnadre, your doll is like perfection. Demolock kind of looks at it and she's like, those smaller hands have definitely given you the craftsmanship that, as he gestures to the whole wall of poorly made dolls, our people have never found. Wonderful. I do hope that you will be able to succeed the test, for I wish to display yours in a special spot. And he kind of gestures to the probably one of the best looking one, but still looks like nothing compared to your doll. My own doll. He's going to turn to Levi as well and just, son, what frustrates you with this? What is it that causes you to cause harm to your doll? It is supposed to symbolize your childhood. Did you have a rough childhood? Is this something you wish to kind of, how you say?
Levi just blinks for a second and he says, "What? No, I am angry because the tunnel told me a bunch of nonsense, and now I have to listen to you and make this doll. This has nothing to do with my childhood."
Well, as the old goat said, it does not lie. It's just a magical tunnel. It can't lie. So what do you think it didn't tell you the truth about? What do you think it was trying to tell you?
I do not know. I'm not one of these philosophers. I'm not a thinker. I'm a doer. I do good things. I take care of people. That is all I've done my whole life. How could I not be true?
An evil god did good things. Are they an evil god? Or are they a good person?
Wait, how did they become an
I
evil god in the first place?
It is their nature. They are an evil god. Being
Do they do
evil,
good things by accident or are they doing them on purpose?
this or that, whether or not it's by accident or on purpose, the good things were done by their hand.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those cases where all the other gods decided to call this guy an evil god because maybe he's not as pretty as the other gods or something, and less of this
Del
god does
Nadre, in this
evil.
situation, you must be the evil god then.
I'm just gonna look at my doll and I'm gonna look over at his doll.
It's just not even nowhere near being completed. Like Delnadre's like helping the other Goliaths make their own doll at this point.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And I'm gonna go back to helping the children.
So,
Do you see
Demolot,
how full my heart is, Levi? Do you see how pure my soul is?
Del Nadre, I have
You
watched you
can't even
steal
look
from
past your
people.
rage.
You're a criminal.
look,
Prove it.
look, friends. Demolot kind of stops the argument between you. The tunnel is not a test of whether you are a good character or a bad character. Whether you are do good deeds, do bad deeds. In the story I was attempting to tell you, had that evil god who had spent his life doing good deeds gone through this tunnel, he would be pushed out the same as you, Levi, for he is not true to himself.
Okay, then. How is one true to themselves? Enlighten me.
Who are you, Levi?
I am Levi Corvallis.
Hemlock just kind of looks at you and says, I see your frustration, son. I feel it. How often do you fail at things that you believe you are so confident in?
For a very long time, very rarely. Very recently, often.
Hmm. So one can say you're having a crisis of confidence then. What is it that is eating away at you, Levi? What causes this loss of confidence?
I'm dying.
Death should not cause you to be fearful. It is what happens with your death that you must fear. Do you have those you will let down?
Yes.
Do you have unfinished business?
Yes.
Hmm. Then it seems that you need to find your confidence once again. Look upon yourself. Is what happened to you your own doing, or something that the world did upon you?
Honestly, I believe it is my own doing. I attempted to do something that I was unable to do, and because of my actions, I am in the situation that I am in, and many people died.
No, Levi. Are you actively killing yourself right now?
No.
Then you did not do whatever this thing that you did to yourself. It was done upon you. You worry about the lives of others so often, whether they are being good, whether they are true, whether they are evil. Now gesturing to Don Adre. Although, with his craftsmanship, I don't see how anything as pure as this could ever be evil. You must let go of that, Levi. It is not your fault, nor what will come after your death be your fault. You must have confidence that you are doing everything you can to make sure that you are living your life as you want it to be. Don't let others rule your thought. Don't let these things that you worry about that are out of your control cause you to divert away from your true life, from your true calling. If death were to come for me tomorrow, and I would know that it was coming for me tomorrow, why should I change my life? It will be here, it will come, and I will die. There is nothing I can do to change that. You must accept what is happening to you. It's just the whims of the universe and move forward,
No,
striving
no, 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 no,
leg
no, no.
and
This is
leg.
very different. If I die, a monster will jump out of my body and kill everyone.
Will it? Are you sure? Will your strong friends not kill it?
They can try. I was unable to.
Do you have no confidence in your friends that they would not be able to overcome this
I have
terror?
confidence in them. However, I don't want to see them take this thing on and endure the same fate I did.
Hmm. Then it sounds like you want to die alone. But who will kill the monster that will jump out of you?
Well, if I if I die soon enough, then it won't have time to fully grow, and it won't jump out.
You don't sound very confident to this, Levi. And once again, we come back to your confidence. I want you to think clearly and hard upon your task at hand, and be confident in your own skills. Your frustration needs to be at ease, and you must let go what you cannot control. You have actions that you want to take in this world, but you can't control what you cannot control, Levi. This is what all Goliaths know and learn. We cannot control the winter. If a blizzard comes, a blizzard will come. You just must be prepared for that blizzard and have faith that you, your teachings, your friends will be prepared on their own.
Levi nods and he starts trying to put his doll together a little bit more calmly. And he let's see. Just for the hee-hees and the ha-has, you know.
El lays a couple of strips that he's dyed over.
Wonderful. Much better than you were before. Calm yourself, Levi. Just calm yourself. Worry not about the things you cannot control, and live your life. If you live your life in fear, then you're not living your life. Demolock turns to Delnadre. Now, Delnadre, I see with such excellent skill with your hands, your ears have probably been have been excellently listening to everything I've said. Who was our 134th Jarl Moot? Who was at our 133rd Jarl Moot? You may list them off
of course, yeah.
In alphabetical order for me, please.
Mm-hmm. There was an Aladard.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he was there.
Duran.
Mm-hmm. Duran was in the 157th, so not quite.
Mm-hmm. Did Feanard make it to that one?
You know, sometimes even my own memory is a bit cloudy on that. But getting one of 3 is good enough for me. Even though there were 16 other names that I had listed, and there were 1,600 different names in every single one that we'd gone through, and it is slightly disappointing to me. But, well, honestly, the first person that's ever answered the question right, and the other Goliath children behind him are kind of chuckling because nobody listens to Demolock whenever he is listing off the names of the people who attended the Jarl Moot hundreds of years ago. So is there anything
good?
Yeah. Is there anything that you, Levi, Delnadre, Bitte, or Rosemary would like to do before we call it a night? Wake up in the morning, have Levi and Delnadre take another crack at the tunnel, and then get on to the goat ball festivities.
Well, I'll have you know that there is one member of the party who has not been tested yet. And Pansy would like a go at the tunnel.
Okay. Demolock kind of just looks at it and it's like, but it's a bird.
She's more than just a bird. Like, I could say it's just a goat.
How dare you?
See, it's a hurtful thing to say. It's reductive.
I have been humbled. Please, Tansy, take the test here.
I hope Tansy just hops through no problem.
She just like comes out the other side like 3 seconds. Just you're a heart. She is the chosen one.
I want you to roll some. Does he have stats? Tansy has stats, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's roll.
Yeah,
this.
got some.
Tansy is
great
literally
stats.
a fae. Like, I think
Tansy must be a goat.
All right, why is Tansy gigantic but you are so small?
Look, I don't know. It's your
Tansy
game,
writes.
man.
All right, Tansy, roll me a Constitution saving throw.
All right, we don't have proficiency in that, so it's just gonna have to be the natural 20, baby. Oh God.
Okay. All right. So
Tansy has done better than everybody.
Now we have the second test. You must roll.
I cannot believe we burned our good. We're burning our good rolls on Tansy right now.
No, Tansy must roll a charisma check. Charisma saving throw. Sorry.
We're a little bit worse at that.
Oh my God. Tansy.
Okay, so as we described earlier, Tansy just flies through it in 3 seconds. Demolock doesn't even have time to like register, like just kind of like lets it go through after being humbled and just kind of closes his eyes for a moment, to kind of rub his eyes, opens up, and Tansy's out. And he's just like,
He's gonna start pecking together a doll.
oh my god. roll me sleight of hand for Tansy.
You know what?
He does
This
not
kind
have
of makes
the
sense if you
proficiency,
think
so
about
it's
it.
just a dex check.
Like,
Oh my
dude,
fucking god.
Holy shit.
how is
Tansy's
Tansy's
is
doll better than mine?
yours.
Tansy's doll is the most amazing thing he's ever seen. Demolock
Like brought to tears.
is just weeping here and grabs Tansy and grabs the doll and just sprints out of there and just starts screaming, "The Chosen One has come! The Chosen One has come! All hail Tansy, true of herself,
Herself.
true of herself, the truest Goliath ever known! All hail Tansy!" And so while Levi and Del Nadri continue to have to sit there with the Goliath children making some dolls, the rest of you are treated to a honoring ceremony where Tansy is now the kind of professor emeritus of chieftains. So the chieftain emeritus, honorary chieftain of the Wormdoon Crag. Not like a true chieftain in that thing, but just like a chieftain of our soul. If we can all live to be as much of a goat as Tansy is, then we will one day become true Goliaths like Tansy is.
Shit, man.
I think my bird just became Bite's Dalai Lama.
The dice
my
are just so
God.
amazing.
I think Levi throws his fucking doll at the wall and storms out, looking for a cute Goliath to go talk to.
Oh my god.
Oh my God. Yeah, Demolock never comes back, by the way, Don Audrey, and you don't see Tansy for the rest of the night. He
Tansy's getting ritually sacrificed.
No, God, no. Oh my lord, Rosemary, no. Demolock is has taken Tansy to get his picture inscribed upon a wall, and it takes a long time. So he's found the best chiseler they have, and they are inscribing his likeness upon the wall of champions they have later somewhere in their cave. It's truly an amazing sight to see, little bird.
Damn.
Corey, Tansy's pronouns are she, her.
She, her. Did I say he again?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she. To get her likeness described upon the wall.
Beautiful.
It's the only other girl on the team. We gotta respect women.
Respect her.
We gotta stick up for her.
Yeah, her. All right, so Levi, you find roll me charisma with disadvantage.
Is it because I failed the test?
It is because you
I
failed
think
the
it's
test.
because Goliath cute is different than Levi cute.
No. This is very much because none of them really quite see Levi as a full man.
What kind of charisma here? Just like a straight up and down charisma?
I mean, if you want to have to persuade them, then
No, I guess it's fair.
Please come to me.
then it'll
Please.
be. Yeah, you do find one who happened to wander in from a scouting expedition late in the night, who, although they had already received word, did want to learn about you, and you got to spend the night with her. But she was not
Nice.
here. She did not witness the level, and upon the next day would probably would actually try to avoid eye contact with you.
Yeah, he 100% shows up back to the test like super early just to avoid any awkward.
Yeah. Del Nadre, what do you do during the night?
Do I have like a place to sleep, or am I expected to just stay here by this fire?
Well, Demolock has kind of abandoned you guys. But you are welcome to go and
I'm gonna
enjoy.
try and ask the kids then, just like, so what, do we just camp here overnight, or?
And they kind of just look at you and they're like, yeah. They just lay down on the hard stone and they're just like, it's not a fun experience.
Sure. All right. Well, I'm here for the full experience. And I'm definitely not going to subvert that, I say, as I pretend to go to sleep.
So what do you really do then?
I wait for all the kids to go to sleep, and then I'm going to sneak into the tunnel when no one's looking.
Ooh. All right. Roll me the Constitution saving throw. Now, if you fail, you get basically, for learning your lesson, both you and Levi have this, you get 1 advantage. All right? You don't have to use it on the first one. If you succeed, you're good to go. You may use it, but once you use it, you're good.
All right. I'm going to crawl into the tunnel, about up to the point where I feel like it started to get difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna take a little sit, and I'm gonna meditate
Okay.
for about 5 seconds, and I'm gonna say "fuck this," and then I'm just gonna go.
Okay.
Love that for him.
Constitution saving throw first.
Yeet!
Mm.
Hey-ya! Oh wait, didn't roll. Roll, please. There it goes. Woo!
Yeah. All right. Good. You made it through. Now comes the next test. The test, whereas the first one was the strength of your character.
I don't think this is gonna work.
Oh God.
No.
And you get kicked out. Now nobody saw this happen. So what do? You just want to go to sleep now? Meditate? Think about what you've done. I will describe a little bit as where the first one is talking about how you're not strong enough and how your character is weak and such like this. The next one talks about the truth that you live to yourself. And we won't go into it too much, but it tells you who you truly are and how who you truly are is not who you think you are. And it's generally just meant to try to wear you down and go against. It itself is not telling the truth. It's not lying. It is essentially says the same thing to everybody, like pre-programmed. Just something meant to wear.
I'm
you
gonna
down.
say with my natural 1, I'm gonna get up to that point. I'm gonna hear it say, "Who you are is not who you think you are," or whatever that bullshit, and I'm just gonna immediately go, "Fuck, that's very correct," and I'm just gonna turn around and start crawling my way backwards.
All right. Bitte, what do you do during the night? Or I guess during the afternoon. We haven't really had as much of a chance to kind of hover over you. So what have you been up to?
He's on mute.
Oh,
Is he aware that he's on mute?
I don't know. We'll wait for a moment. If there he is.
I am now.
There you are.
Yeah. I did check right after like 3 words in. Proud of myself. Yeah, so Beta is gonna catch up with some of the other warriors and people at the feasting hall, try and get a little more information on the tension with the Sky Tower clan.
Yep.
And then at the end of the night is going to go back to his house and have a little bit of a word with Zaura.
Yeah, with one of your sister. Is it your sister? Your eldest sister?
Yeah, with his eldest sister, Zaulu, and about basically being mean to his friend and to his guest.
So when you were trying to determine like more about the situation between Sky Tower and Wormdew Crag, who are you asking? Are you asking Ogilai? Are you asking just another random, like another Goliath warrior that you're friends with?
I think he'll try and he'll catch up with some of the people, some of the other general warriors and whatnot, to try and get the broad strokes, and then toward the end of the night when things are winding down, quieting down, and Ogilai is kind of separated from people for a minute, he'll go over and sit down and say, "Tell me a bit more about the trouble with the Sky Towers."
At this point, Rosemary, would you have said that you've left Ogilai's side very much?
I feel like Rosemary would not be able to turn down requests for goat fights, and considering that refreshes every short rest, I imagine like every hour on the hour, she can turn into a goat twice. So she'll have a little brawl and then go and sit back down.
All right. So whenever you sit back down, Ogilvy, of course, wants you to sit with her. She is known as the old goat. It's a very endearing term for her, and just enjoys speaking to you and more about your people and such like that. But it is during one of these times that you're sitting with her that Bitte kind of sits down with you guys and asks about the issue. And Ogilvy kind of brings it up once again. She's like, well, yes, as you know, many summers ago, the children of Wormdoom Crag challenged the children of Sky Tower to a game of goat ball. During the game, the ball tumbled near one of their griffins, and when one of our children tried to fetch the ball, the griffin went berserk and grievously wounded her. The game was called off, but hungry for more of the child's flesh, that griffin haunted Wormdoom for days, until eventually our hunters were forced to kill it to protect the child. And ever since then, the two clans have been opposed with one another. At the same time, she kind of like puts her hand and is like caressing the scar that goes down across her face as she just talks about it, and looks between you two and is just like, I feel bad for the Sky Tower Goliaths. Their hunting grounds have shrunk. The winter high up in the mountains is very brutal. And they look at our fertile lands, our rich hunting grounds, our our easier time, and they want it. That is the basis of this anger right now. They want what we have. We cannot let them have it.
Do I know? Could I make a nature check and see if this is like a regular behavior for a griffin, if they would like stalk a child for several days?
Yeah.
Oof.
You have not had too much experience with griffins, although you have heard of them, and being near the mountains, you've seen them from time to time. Your people, which just generally were really happy, and you could almost say that even given the placement of the tree in your village, animals were less aggressive, and so this is not something that you have heard of. However, you do know that from what Bitte has told you, that the Sky Tower shelter, or the Sky Tower Goliaths, utilize their griffins not as mounts, but like almost like falcons, trained to help them hunt.
Yeah, like partners.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So yes, Bitte. That's what she kind of describes to you as the reason why there's tensions that have boiled up. Not only that, it is on the anniversary of the death of that griffin, or the beginning of the death of that griffin, you could say, that is coming up tomorrow, and so it is just a tense time, and people are posturing to show their strength.
Gotcha. So it's the old tension we've been used to, plus the strain of a harsh winter.
Yes.
And okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Any other questions for her regarding that?
Is there anyone specifically spearheading the antagonism? Or is it just a general feeling?
It's a general feeling. Arn has always hated me. I'm sure that he is. Suppose you could say he's spearheading. We don't have really much communication with them, so it'd be hard to say which individual Goliath is out there. Not like we're in one big communal group where we can hear what they say of us. But I do know that Arn has a true hold on his people. Anything they wish to do, they would not do it without his blessing.
Hmm. Interesting.
Has there been any talk or consideration of a sort of ceasefire during the harsh winter months just to prevent either or both clans from taking more losses?
Ceasefire. They are attacking us, Rosemary. Well, they are gearing up to attack us. They hunt our lands. They threaten our people. They have on occasion attacked our scouting party, whether it was an accidental spear throw, as they say, or javelin throw, as they say, or if it was truly meant to hurt us. But no, we did not start this aggression, so why should we want to agree to a ceasefire? If Arn wants to see the strength of Wormdoon Crag, well, Wormdoon Crag will bring upon its strength in full might and destroy those pesky Griffin Tamers. It's at this point that the Aarakocra walks in, having healed and rested enough and wanting to enjoy the festivities that are going on. Ogalai kind of almost brightens up a little bit whenever she sees the Sikikri come around the corner and just shouts, "Ah, you have been healed! Who among us has blessed you with this good favor?" And Siki kind of just looks around and sees Rosemary, and she's like, "Oh, well, it was her. She helped me. She healed my wing. It broken as it was. No longer it is. Yes.
Glad
I
to see you're up and about.
Thank you. Ogalai, did I hear you correctly? You're going to war with them? Yes. I know you have pushed for peace, Sikikri, but your time spent with them cannot ignore the aggression they've been showing us. I know you say they are suffering. We understand that. But if we don't stop this now, they will only get more desperate. Look at this, Ogalai. These nobodies to your people have been welcomed so graciously. They are fighting so hard in this harsh winter to make themselves better, to get your favor. She has earned it. Bitty has always had it. I hear the other two are trying very hard to pass their test. Why not show the Sky Tower Goliaths the same compassion you are showing them? Don't want to hear it right now, Sikikri, Ogalai says. I don't. I'm glad for you that you are healed. Let me know before you decide to depart, but now is a time of happiness, not of deep and dark thoughts. If I let them go on unchecked to share our wealth, what is to stop them from just wanting to take more? Sikikri kind of just closes her beak and looks to Rosemary and Bitte to answer the question.
Have you, if there was a way that they could get a party here for negotiations, would you consider perhaps a mutually beneficial agreement? You said they have their griffins. Surely they might be able to help. Times have been tough for everybody, and even though your hunting is bountiful here, perhaps with their help, it might be more so.
Oh, how I would love to see Arn walk his way down to Wormdoon Crag and stand in our Goat Ball Arena, the same Goat Ball Arena where it all started so many years ago. But his pride is way too. It would prevent him from doing such a thing, and I do not wish to meet him on a neutral ground, at least not unless I know that he'd be willing to meet.
Perhaps we could send a message and see if he would be willing.
Hmm.
We're
Sure.
headed up the mountain anyway, we might as well. If it could prevent bloodshed in these hard times.
She kind of ponders it for a moment and looks to Bitte. Bitte, I'd have to say you probably have, of all of our Goliaths, been the one who has had the most experience with the Sky Tower shelter in such a long time, as they have allowed you to use their paths higher up into the mountain. Do you think? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm still here for a second. I can answer that real quick.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I have known a few of them, and they have been generous with me in the past. I have never known them to be explicitly unreasonable. We will speak to them and see if some sort of understanding can be found.
Good. Because we had expected to move out with our war party in just under a 10-day. So I shall give you until then, whether I am bringing a war party or a negotiation party. That is up to you and your party here.
Very well. Okay, now I do have to step away.
Okay. And now we're on to Rosemary. So Rosemary, let's finish up the night activities here. What do you do after fighting off many Goliaths here with your goat?
I imagine she's probably feeling like she's got like a little bit of a headache from like headbutting so many people. But when the Aarakocra comes in, I think she does want to see if she can have like a conversation with her about kind of what the Sky Towers are like. It sounds like she's had like at least a decent relationship with them.
Of course. So she kind of like you get an opportunity to step to the side with Siki Cree, and she kind of is there to assist and to answer any of your questions, and she's just sitting there off to the side of the cave, just eating on her own as you walk up and sit next to her.
So some soup, huh?
Yes, I'm not a huge fan of the goat. It's a bit overdone here. Been here a number of days, weeks. All goat. Oh my god, it's all goat.
Yeah, it's good every once in a while, but it's a very distinct flavor.
Yes. Oh my goodness, thank you. They seem to just swoon over it, but it's goat, people. Come on. Give me some chicken.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I am a vegetarian.
I was gonna say I had my thoughts, but I didn't want to judge. I know every individual is different, but I thought Aarakocra kind of tended to be more herbivores.
Yes, it's not to say we don't eat meat every now and then. You know, of course, I have tried the goat. Terrible.
Yeah.
Not a religious vegetarian, you could say, but still, it not my taste. Just kind of further supports my willingness to just not really want to eat all the time.
Fair enough. I had so you've been to the Sky Tower shelter?
Yes. I used to come quite a bit. I would love to fly over the mountains. The spine of the world is a beautiful place when the weather is nice. But, well, one could say I was a bit more daring recently than I needed to be. Got caught in a blizzard and crashed. Had it not been for the generosity of Wormdune, I wouldn't have been here. And I do not think that the Sky Towers would not have shown me kindness. It is really not of their nature.
They keep to themselves more?
Very much so. They don't like outsiders. Outsiders generally don't like to come up that far into the mountains to meet with them, so they're very secluded. And that wears on their patience with others. But their loyalty is strong, as they must have.
So okay.
No, go on.
So if one were to try to gain that loyalty, I mean, here it seems mostly to be goats and fights and tunnels, which I mean, not a little bit of it. A little bit of it is outside of our comfort zone, but we're making do. But if we were to try to get their attention or respect, how would one do that?
Mm. You'd have to bring something that Arn wants, or divert Arn to a different foe. But there are people who want war right now. I don't think I don't think this is going to end nicely unless they have something they can fight.
Like the endless winter?
I suppose. But unfortunately, Arn has kind of become a bit pessimistic when it comes to the thought of whether or not the winter will ever end. He truly does believe it to be an endless winter. That is weighing on his thoughts, I believe.
You said to bring something that he wants. What does he want besides war?
I've heard that he's fancied Ogilai's cape for none other than a reason to embarrass Ogilai. They have quite a history, those two. But that is not my story to tell.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate you talking with us, and be careful with that wing. I know magic healing is great, but you still need to kind of do your stretches and get the muscle all worked out.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your compassion. I wish you best of luck. Please don't die.
I
I
will
wish
do
to
my
meet I
best.
do wish to meet you once again in the future when all of this is done.
That'd be nice. And if you ever find yourself out by Kuldahar, you should check it out. Tell them Rosemary sent you.
Hmm. Yes, I have heard the tree is an excellent place to nest. Or to roost,
It
rather.
is.
I shall do that one day. I will come looking for you, young Rosemary. See to it that
Thanks.
you survive, that we can meet again. And Siki Creed kind of just stands up and walks out. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Rosemary?
I kind of want to ask Ogilai and see if she's like happy slash relaxed enough to kind of tell some tales about her and Arn.
Yeah. All right. So after a few more goat battles, another battle with Ogilai as she wants round two, one that she does win, or maybe one that you let her win. Would you let her win, or would you try to beat her and just let her and she just wins?
I feel like Rosemary would put up a fight, but she's been like doing this for several hours now, and she is not as fresh as she used to be. So I think Ogilai just kind of wins easily.
All right, fair enough. So yes, Ogilai after that word just kind of like waves everyone off. It's late in the night and sits down next to you, and you get an opportunity to ask her about her and Arn. How do you start the conversation?
It's like, so you've mentioned Arn before. I'm curious, what has your or how did you know each other before, or did you know each other before everything went down between your two clans?
Yes, we did. We were both there that fateful day. Children playing goat mall, rivals from our clans, being the being similar or related to the chieftain family. It both knew that we had a potential for greatness and could one day fill the shoes of our ancestors.
Yeah.
It's been so many years since then. She kind of just trails off once again, kind of like rubbing her hand on the big, huge scar that runs down her face.
Did
I
he give you that?
no, the griffin did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I have a personal stake in that, but Arn does too. For it was Arn's older brother's griffin, one that he had grown up with, that had known his family. I don't know if we could ever get over that, but I think our people can. But we must find some way to move past what happened and move forward together. Because even if we are able to defeat this foe of Sky Tower, as I believe we will, we are a bit more stronger in numbers. We may lose a few or many. We will eventually win. What does it matter if this winter continues? We just die anyways, knowing that I killed a once good friend of mine.
Do you think if we could get a diplomatic party together, we could convince Arn that the real foe is this winter, is the Frostmaiden, and perhaps energy could be conserved in fighting that, perhaps not with weapons, but with friendship and with combining the clans, even just temporarily, against a common foe to stay alive.
It is a thought, sure. But how would we fight the winter? It is in our nature to just accept the winter as it is, to go with the flow. You'd almost be asking us to just throw away our teachings, to fight against nature. It's sure, Oral has twisted it, has infused her evil in the winter, but winter has never been a nice force. It has always been cruel. It is just more cruel now. How would we fight? How would our javelins do anything against the wall of white that she brings upon us?
You fight it with your will, with warmth, with having these caves, this warm soup here.
Hmm.
You are fighting against the nature of the mountains to survive. You are surviving alongside it, yes, but in some ways you are taking advantage of what it gives and taking what you must. It is the same as it ever is. Everyone is always fighting for survival. It is the way of nature.
I'm sure we could be convinced to do such a thing, but it would be hard for us to see a path forward knowing that they don't even know the enemy we fight. How long would we fight? Where would be the end? Don't you have something we can just beat in the face? We could easily get over this feud in the glory of battle.
There is a abominable yeti.
Hmm.
It did kind of chase us up the mountain. I don't know if that
That
would be an interesting fight
that would
for
be
you.
child's play. He would fall before my axe as easy as paper would between my fists. No, 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 no. There
If we
no.
find something larger, then we will send word, and it will be a glorious battle indeed.
Well, you have a 10-day to send these word before we have our glorious battle with them. Time is not on your side.
It seems lately it never is.
You don't have any other enemies to fight.
Am I forgetting anything, DM? Am I like, is there? Did I forget that we were fighting a giant worm or something?
Roll
There was
me roll me
there was our
history as you can remember what your first, not the pre-adventure, but the first town you went to and how that affected things.
I'm not doing great on the history front today.
Mhm.
The first town we went to was Goodmead. There was the guy in the woods, but he was pretty harmless.
Was that the first town?
Uh, before the reset, yes.
Oh, that's right. No, I thought we
I
went
don't.
to Karakonig.
Did we go to Kirkonic? Did we ever do that quest?
Most definitely. It's the first time you turned into the big. Was that the first one? Did we go to that one? No, I feel like that was the first one, and then you went from there to Goodmead.
I thought that was the first one, and then the audio was corrupted, and then we just did Goodmead.
Son of a gun, that is probably correct. Damn.
So we don't know anything that was in that area.
Yeah. Okay. Then never mind.
You
No.
just out pizzaed the hut.
Then you really don't. You really don't have anything. Give me a moment. Let me get my cat out of here. Discuss amongst yourselves if you think you have another enemy besides the winter, or if you have a better way to describe how you are
Yeah.
going to get them to fight the winter.
Yeah, I mean, I got like meta knowledge, but I don't think Rosemary knows any of that.
We did go back and do Karakone.
Did we?
We did.
Yeah, we went back to it.
Yeah, with the Durgar. I missed when Lee.
Oh yeah, they're coming to invade. Duh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the
If
Durgar
I know
invasion.
that, sorry, I'm in two different Rime of the Frostmaiden campaigns, and I wasn't sure what we had done and what they had done.
Okay. What do we remember?
So we do know about the Duragar threat.
Yes.
Vaguely.
Yes.
Yeah, like the leader of the ones we killed. This was I wasn't there for the one where y'all kind of resolved and did the interrogation stuff. I missed the resolution of that, but like the leader of them was like the son of the the big bad Durgar leader that was getting
Yes.
everything together.
Zarok Sunblight is what he said his father's name was. So
You
did
might have a dragon.
Did they mention a dragon?
they mentioned they were building something?
I
Hobo
will then
dragon.
mention that to
Mechagodzilla.
Ugla and see if that is interesting to her. Is some Duragar who are building a mystery machine.
Yeah, and I think Dell, didn't you send word to East Haven as well? That they had some people that they had some Durgar in that town?
Yeah, that sounds like the right town. I definitely sent word to someone.
Yeah.
It was probably East Haven.
So yeah. So you did send them, and they've so it is a threat that you guys have kind of skirted around doing other things, but is still a threat that is going against. Now you wouldn't have very much information, but you would know that hey, the Duragar are gonna do something, and if you just sit up here, maybe they'll come for you, and you will have to, and you'll if you fight each other, then you'll end up weakening yourselves. You could just think with that kind of argument there.
Yeah, I think I might try to spin it that way.
Okay. All right. So spin it.
Relying on knowledge that I'm not sure what I know and what I don't. There is
Shit.
down in Ten Towns. There's a some Duragar are working on something, and I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's something big. And you got to kind of wonder once they're done with Ten Towns, what's to stop them coming up here? And if you're so busy fighting the Sky Tower, I have no doubt that you would win. I mean, that's not even in question, but depending on how many losses are taken during that fight, it might leave you weak as opposed to facing it as a united front.
And you have evidence of this. We have seen some Duragar, but we have seen Duragar every now and then. They are in the hills, they are in the mountains, they are deep below. Not uncommon for them to have come into contact with us as we claim dominance over the high mountains, but you know of them? Do you know of
Do we
anything
have like
else?
the letter that they had?
Ooh, Delnodra, do you have the letter in your inventory?
I had a lot of letters, so let me see
I'm
what all
imagining if anyone held on to it, it was probably Dell. So I would assume that Dell probably has it, and Rosemary might just
I
be
have
like
a scrap of
tomorrow.
paper with dwarvish writing found in Fort Chief's room.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So yeah, perhaps you could then Rosemary, you would remember that like yes, Delmonter has this. I could go ask him. Would you go and get it
Yeah.
now, or would you wait to do that tomorrow?
I feel like it's getting kind of late. I'll be like, okay, so after my friend's tunnel quest part 2, my friend has a letter. I don't know if we've gotten it translated yet, but it's in Dwarvish. We could at least look at it and see what it might say and what implications that has.
We did. There was a guy who spoke dwarvish in town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and I can recite that later on, should you need that. But yes, we'll wait till tomorrow. Perhaps even if Del Nadru would become would be able to improve upon his standings with the people, enough that it might add a bit more weight to what he has to say as well.
Yeah,
So
it might help. But yes, thank you for listening and for sharing those memories with me.
all right, so we wake up early. Levi, Del Nadre, would you want to go through your test of strength before or after the Goat Ball games? Now remember, your team has entered. You have a single eliminate. You have a pool play, so it's best of kind of best of 3 that will put you into a bracket, and then you will continue on single elimination after that. This is just all in my head. You won't be following. We won't have all that stuff really in there, but it'll just be a number of checks. And we will follow the rules directly of what they said in the book. So it is just going to be everyone on the team rolls a strength check or athletics, and they compare it to the opposing strength and athletics of the Goliaths. Make it simple, easy, and be able to rush through that real quick. Should you wish to try it before or after or both?
If possible, Levi would probably try to do it before so that he could go into the games with the knowledge that he succeeded.
All right, Levi, roll me now. What you heard Demolox say to you yesterday, did that land? Did it?
I think it did. I think
Okay.
he went
And did
and hung out with this cute girl, and then
yeah.
he walked around the village for a little while and really just thought about what he said. And I mean, he wasn't wrong. He has a confidence issue. Like, he let himself down, and he let other people down, and he's been carrying that for months now.
All right. So then let us go. Levi, you can go first. You have one advantage to use. If you don't want to use the dice bot, I will let you roll your physical dice. We trust you
No,
enough.
I want to be with everyone. I don't want to meta game like that, and I want to be with everybody else.
All right.
Like my DM dice, I don't know what it is. I have a very strong connection with them, and they love me dearly.
And if you were to
And
fail with them in this instance, it would really hurt you, huh?
I would feel really bad. Yeah.
All right, here we
All
go,
right.
Levi.
So you said I have one advantage.
Yep. You use it whenever it needs to come up. Essentially, you just get 3 rolls to pass 2 checks.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try to run this without. So let's see. Constitution first, right?
Saving throw. Yes.
Okay, please.
Excellent. Good. You're moving on. You now face the doubts to your character, to the truth of your soul. Charisma saving throw.
Right. Don't know what the DC is for the second one, but I know the first one is 15.
It is 15 on both.
Okay, then I need to roll again. Oh, come on.
Yes.
Fuck yeah!
Woo! All right,
There
Levi.
you go.
You get through.
Let's go.
What did you learn about your characters that what did this test teach you, Levi?
I think Levi. I think he was doing exactly that. He was living life with the expectation that his time was running out, and he was trying to do as much good as possible and spread as much uh as much of himself out and help as many people as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And in turn, he was doing so many things that he hasn't necessarily done before,
Right.
and things that he was failing at, and that continually kept hurting his confidence. But at the end of the day, like, this whole thing sort of made him realize that, like, you just gotta do your best,
Right.
and sometimes your best isn't enough, and that's okay.
Exactly. There you go. Sometimes your best isn't enough, and that is okay because you did your best, right? That's what matters. Del Nadre.
Love that for him.
Exactly.
Del Nadre.
Rosemary's going apeshit.
All right. Are you going to do this with Levi as well?
Hmm.
Hell yeah.
All right, Del Nadre. Same as before. You have one advantage.
Do I have to make
Come
the
on,
con
Del, you
save
got
again?
this.
Yes,
You
you
got
do.
this.
Darn it.
Has to be both as once. To be fair, and this is a funny thing, I didn't do what the book is telling me to do here. Ooh, goodness.
It's all right. It's all right.
Well,
It's all right.
You got this.
Constitution is just not good. Okay, we're through the con.
Woo! All right, here we go.
You
You
got this.
Oh my
can do
god,
this.
you got this. I'm
Show
closing
us
my
your
eyes.
charisma.
I'm closing
I
my
believe in you.
eyes.
Elle's just crawling through, and he's just like, fuck you, tunnel. You don't get to tell me if I don't know who I am.
Yeah, degrade the tunnel.
I know who I am.
Who do you think you are? I am.
I know who I am.
Yes!
I know. And everyone is just standing there and watching as Dell's just slowly crawling out the other side of the tunnel with his eyes closed, just like, I know what the fuck I'm doing. And just because no one else agrees, and then he runs into the wall, and oh shit.
Wonderful.
Beta chuckles to himself, hearing him tough talking a stone tunnel.
Hell yeah.
Beta knows that the tunnel is not magical at all, and there's actually just
Levi-
a little creature inside that just pushes people out randomly.
Levi sprints over and just picks up Dell and is like, "Yeah!"
Well, so it
Rosemary
only
comes
works in
over
the
and, like, makes
morning.
an attempt to pick
is
up
the
both of you.
problem, right?
Wonderful, Ogilai says. You have both proven to me that you deserve to become honorary members of the Thun Kalaga clan. Thank you. Thank you for showing me that your resolve, confidence in yourself, your spirit, in one another, and your willingness to become warriors alongside of us. I hope soon that you will feel the flesh of the Sky Tower beneath you, or, as one of your friends has potentially shown me, that if we decide to go another way, perhaps you will eliminate the Duergar scum that have set their sights on 10 towns.
Rosemary pokes her head around. It's like, oh yeah, I told her about the Durgars, and you had a letter, Levi, I think? Or Dell. One of you has a letter.
Yeah, I have a letter. Which letter? Which letter do you want? I've got lots of letters.
The Duragar one, the dwarvish one.
All right. Nope. This is a letter incriminating Shandar. These are. Yeah, no, these are the letters from Tourmaline. Oh, this one. The dwarvish stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just to read out for those listening, this is what it says. So it says here, the letter that you found on the note on the desk is written in Dwarvish and says, "Brother, you will find me on the frozen ferry in East Haven. From this new base, the search for Charlatan continues. Long may our father reign over this dark land." Dearth. Dearth is the one that you guys killed.
That's right. His name was so stupid.
And he did say at one time, my father is more powerful than any of you filthy creatures could imagine. You don't understand the glory of it, the power found in the ice. None of you do, but soon enough you will learn what my father unleashes his terror upon 10 towns. Your doom soars on dragon's wings. That's where you get the little note about the dragon.
Yeah, they've got a dragon, maybe.
So Ogilai kind of just takes in hand, thinks about it, and sets it upon herself. Okay. You have convinced me. Your evidence has shown that the Duergar are up to no good. And as I believe in our hearts, Arn and I, while we may not be able to get over our feud, our anger, our people can move beyond. And it is the glory of battle that will help them move beyond their anger. This feud will be no more, but instead we will bring a new feud against those, this Dearth, his father, and the Duergar that want to bring about the doom of 10 towns. Or if they kill them, it'll be only a matter of time before they set their sights on the spine of the world. But let's play some goat ball! Ah! They start shouting it up. So let us move on over to the goat ball arena. Dun, 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 dun. It is a big black thing on the map right now because here we go. Levi. Down.
I don't know how goat ball works.
Ogilvy. It's just going to be you roll our team is going to roll a strength athletics check against the other team, and if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose.
Can I wild shape again?
Yep.
All right.
But you have to become a goat.
I have to be a goat?
Ogilvy would be very disappointed if you do not become a goat.
All right, let me do some math. The problem is the goat isn't proficient in anything. And the goat is less dexterous than Rosemary.
But the goat has strength. Ignore the
goat
dexterous
has
thing. The goat has +3 strength.
It has +3 strength.
So,
but that would only go towards athletics to +3, and it's not proficient in it. The ape is proficient in athletics, so it's a +5.
right. Okay.
And
so,
it has a 2 dexterity. So
I will read the rules. So the dexterity does come into it. To determine the outcome of a goat ball game, have each player in the game make a strength or acrobatics check of their choice. Add up the totals for each team. The team with the highest total wins. In the event of a tie, the game goes to overtime, and all the players re-roll. Does everyone understand the rules?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, I want to do the ape, but also I feel like I shouldn't disrespect Ogilvy, so I'm gonna go with the goat. But can a goat catch a ball?
Your goat headbutts the ball back at the person.
Okay. And also, technically, the goat has sure-footed, has advantage on strength and dexterity saving throws made against effects that would knock it prone. Does that include effects that would knock it off a pedestal?
It's not a saving throw, though. Had we been playing it the original way, then yes, it would have made it make sense. Or not the original way, the way we played it the last time. But in this new one, where it's as simple as it could be, so we can move things on, you're just going to be using your strength.
Okay, that's fair. I'll be a goat.
Still, +3 is going to be better than...
better than nothing.
Right. All right.
I have summoned up my calculator.
Okay. So it is So we are this is a giant tournament. People from all around are coming, like those who live in like the smaller villages out, like the smaller little encampments who like maybe they live on their own, are off onto the side. And so we are going to get it started. It is going to work like this. You will be playing 3 matches, and then after that point, you will then play enough until you win. All right? Your score in the beginning will give you, for every win, you will have some rerolls. All right? So you can get up to 3 rerolls that can assist you in either rerolling your whole team or rerolling just one individual. That's just as your morale and your what do they call it in football when the thing is changed? Momentum. It's your momentum. All right. So game 1, match 1. Let's go. They are 4d20 plus 6 times 4 is 24.
Yeah.
Yep. They get a 44 for the first game, and it's a pretty poor roll. This should be an easy one for y'all to win.
All right. So athletics.
Athletics or acrobatics, your choice.
Oh, we can do war acrobatics. Okay.
I still think we win this one, but it was not
I don't know if that's more than 44.
Oh no.
It's not, it's 42.
Oh no. It was so close. Guidance? 1 guidance.
Can I guidance as a goat?
Ooh, that's a good question. No. Well, did you
guidance
give it
before you go? You pre-guide.
You pre-guide.
All right. Pre-guide. I can pre-guide.
Give yourself guidance. You need
oh God.
You need a 3.
Is that a D4?
Yep.
Yeah, you need a 3.
But if we
or 4.
tie,
right, who wants to roll
If
it?
you tie, we get to roll again.
Not me.
I think it'd be
anyone but me.
I'll go it.
Oh
Motherfucker.
no. Double
God damn it.
crits. So game 1, loss.
Best of 3, though, right?
You still have well, best of 3.
Yeah, we still have 2,
You're
yeah.
playing in a pool. So we have 2 more games before you're going to start into single elimination. These are to gain your momentum. Game 2. Here we go. $67.
That's significantly higher. Okay.
Okay. 6
Fuck.
plus 12. 12
Come on, Levi.
plus 24. 54 though.
I'm pretty sure that's still not even close.
Yeah. These low rolls. Game 2. Loss. All right, game 3.
Seems
Here
like
we
it's
go.
going to be early elimination for us, huh?
It's hard. I mean, the goal. You were playing against like Gary and his team before. This is like the best of the best, and people are bringing their A game here.
Gary
Yeah,
sucks.
we were allowed
is
to
the-
cheat
is the-
against Gary.
Fair enough. All right. Here we go. All right, let's see their rolls.
Mother.
Rachel, come on.
You want me to yell at the?
Oh my
You're the one
god.
rolling a 71 and adding plus 24.
Nope.
They each have plus 6, and you're hoping that we're gonna win.
There's chances. You
Oh,
know,
most of
I
us
mean, to
have
be fair,
plus 6s
3 of us also
here.
have plus 6.
I'm the weak link as a goat that has 3 more strength than Rosemary did.
all right, and then who hasn't rolled? Ben?
It's impossible for us to win, but yeah, I'll roll.
You rolling that 20, maybe? Ooh. This is the
Of course,
opposite
a
of what
1.
I asked for.
Yeah,
All right.
God.
Loss. All right.
Just
You
3
have
losses,
you
huh?
have some time before the beginning. You are basically the worst going against the one of the best seeded teams. Not the best seeded, but the best in your bracket. And guess who it is? None other than Gary.
Oh,
Okay.
how?
I'm sorry. I'm
I
turning
want to
into
go
an
watch
8.
Gary's matches. How much is Gary cheating?
Gary
He brought in a whole new squad of professional Go Ball players.
All right. Now, Rosemary, you don't have to be a goat anymore if you wish to change. You had some
Yeah,
time.
I'm
you
being
can,
an 8.
You can also re-guidance here. Okay. How many times
Okay,
can you guidance?
Only one because it's concentration.
Okay. One it is. All right. Who are you giving the guidance to?
Um,
The white ape has
I'm
re-entered.
gonna give it to Bite.
Oh, 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 oh. Are we ready?
Surprisingly, the giant goat has a higher strength score than the ape, just by 1. But also the ape has an athletics proficiency.
Well, that works. So you get a what? +2 there?
I got a plus 5. Yeah. Because the goat is 17, the ape is 16, so they both have a plus 3.
All
Okay.
right. Let's do this. All right. Here we go. 4d20 plus 24. 70.
Son of a bitch.
Nat 20 and a 19. Okay.
Ooh.
Fuck you is mine.
Okay.
Yoink.
Oh. Okay. It's hard though. You have to. What are we at? What are we at right here?
27 plus
26, 48,
48.
56.
56. Okay. It's possible.
Yeah, 56. I need 19 to tie. 19 to tie.
Come on, Dell. Rage for
You have rage.
rage for
Come on,
Rage for
advantage, dude.
advantage.
Come on, Levi.
Rage for advantage. All right, here we go.
Strong boy. Get it.
Rage for advantage. Let's see. And my first one was
no.
12. My second one
Oh
was
no.
13.
Oh no. no.
Okay,
Yeah.
now add those together. 25.
Game 4. Loss. All right. Gary takes some. You guys enjoyed your matches, although being novices at the, the skill required to skillfully throw these balls around, just not quite enough. So let's follow Gary.
Can we say that we got Gary out because two
Can
of
my
us scored really, really
22
well?
No, can Bitse's 26 have gotten him out?
Yes, it did. You knocked Gary out almost to the point where, you know what? Roll a d20. Even, Gary is knocked out for the tournament. Odd, Gary's still in for the tournament.
God damn it.
Gary's still into the tournament. All right, so let's do it. I'm gonna keep rolling for Gary's team first, and then whoever he's going against.
And after our thing with Gary, I'd like to kind of, I don't know how like logistically this would work in between wild shapes. Maybe it happened like before before our game or something. But I just gotta, Rosemary wants to come up to Gary and just kind of like put an arm around his shoulders and be like, "Listen, buddy, like I get it, but I think you have some feelings that you haven't quite worked through." And I'm just saying, open and honest communication works a whole lot better than just pretending that you hate someone. Okay, so have fun.
All right.
Good game.
All right, this is in the semifinals, or he's if he wins this one, he goes to the championship. So is that semifinals? Yeah. After having won 2 already. Oh, Gary gets knocked out in the semifinals very heartedly. And let's see, Gary's winner is going to the championship.
Okay, at least lose against
Wait,
the team.
don't they
that
only
won.
have 3 dice if Gary gets knocked out?
Well, no, they just bring somebody in.
Oh.
Got subs.
They got subs. Yeah. So they do not. Gary does not even win against the team that wins. He loses against the loser. Dun dun dun.
We lost against the quadruple loser, guys.
Yeah. And his team was whatchamacallit, 2 of 3 in their original matches. Damn, guys. That was good. That was close. It was fun.
Was it?
After
Was it?
a long day of spending watching goat balls and getting to know the Goliaths, you enjoy another big feast at the end. And after that, Ogolide pushes your kind of gets you guys what tools or I guess supplies would you ask of Ogolai and the Goliaths on your
Hey, excuse, has anyone seen my bird? She hasn't.
Where's Tansy?
She did. Yeah, she didn't come back.
Ogolai kind of looks at you and just like Tansy, our chieftain emeritus?
I don't know what that means.
It means that she is no longer
I
your
was
bird.
in the cave all night.
It means that she is no longer your bird. No, I'm joking. I think Demolog is just hampering her. Last I saw, he was trying to make a wool coat for her to help protect her against the colds.
Aw.
That's adorable. Will she still be able to fly? You know what? That's actually, honestly, I don't care. I'm here for it.
I don't think he's really thinking about that. It's more of style, really.
It's
Than
more like a
Yeah.
wool, maybe it's more like a wool vest that her wings
Ooh.
just like fit through.
Oh,
I love that.
Yes, it is a wool vest. It has been retconned. He's making a wool vest.
Got a little sweater vest.
Yeah, he even went over there to Wyami, who runs our forge, and was trying to put like gold filigree into it. I thought it was a bit extra, but I was happy to give the gold to make it.
That sounds badass.
Oh yeah.
It will be worth. We'll say it right here. It is a 25 gold worth gold filigree vest. Roll me. Okay, so Del Nadre, you go and you find Demolock. He's making the vest. Do you still have some of those tourmalines?
I
Because he's kind of just like
don't.
you hear him openly ponder about wish I could make these buttons more fancy, but you know, a
I
coin.
do have 3 shards of a dark crystal that I got from the dwarf guy.
Oh, Chardolin or the of the Duergar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he would like if you do you offer that up?
Sure.
Yeah. So he kind of is like I've never seen this much before, and he kind of brings it over to Wyoming, who would describe it to you guys as Chardolin. Chardalin, a very powerful crystal.
Oh, that's what they were looking for. They were looking for more Chardolin.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Who was? Wyoming
In the
asks.
letter, they the Durgar.
That's not good. Nothing good can be made of with a lot of this. I'm sure they're trying to make it into a lot of
So
war.
it's not good for buttons.
Oh no, it's
Except
wonderful.
for buttons.
It's just it's a very strong metal. You know, they're hoarding it. I can only fear of what they're trying to make. Likely some machines of war or weapons that will be stronger than their own dark iron.
That's freaky, but it makes good buttons, right?
It does make good buttons. So yeah, 25 gold worth of a gold filigree vest for Tansy. Now just remember, when Tansy disappears, you're gonna have to go and pick up that vest.
Okay.
Oh yeah, if Tansy poofs.
Can things that you give your familiar stay with them?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think if you dismiss it, it stays with them, but not if. That'd be a good question.
Let me Google.
Can you hear me flipping through pages by any chance?
Yes. Can you hear me typing?
No. Wonder if you guys can. Okay, it's just showing up in Discord. Give me a moment, everyone. I'm just trying to pull up to make sure there's nothing else when it comes with that.
Yeah, it only says whenever the familiar drops to 0 hit points. Oh no, it says or disappears into the pocket dimension. It leaves behind in its space anything it was wearing or carrying.
So yeah, you just have to keep an eye out for it. No worries there.
Perfect little vest.
All right, so you found Tansy, and Demolok begrudgingly gives you back your bird. She is very happy. And you get, what kind of supplies would you like to ask of the Goliaths? And Bitte, how are you going to be making your way to Sky Tower, or are you going to avoid Sky Tower and hit them after you go to the Yeti village?
I imagine Sky Tower's sufficiently on the way. I feel like they'd hit that first.
Yeah, it definitely is. But you do know many paths that avoid it, you kind of are able to like take a little. You've made your own path to avoid the tower, the shelter, to get to their paths that go further into the mountain.
Yeah, I think they'll go ahead and go there because Beta is not positive how long everything else they're doing is going to take, so leaving them. Leaving them and hoping they make it back within a 10-day with time enough to convince them that, oh hey, so they're chill about this now, you need to be chill about this.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so what kind of supplies would y'all like to grab? They're the being all honored or tribesmen or respected members now of the Thungalaga clan. They are willing to open up their reserves and assist your people however you wish.
I think Rosemary is gonna go up to Ogilai and just be like, okay, weird request. You are completely able to say no. And I don't know the backstory behind this. But there was some mention that perhaps Arn might be willing to negotiate if he were to have your cape, which you are completely able to say no to that request. I was just curious if it was something you would be willing to temporarily donate.
Will I get it back?
I think that might be up to Arn.
But I don't think I'm going to be getting it back my cape. Why?
So it's just in my very limited understanding of who Arn is as a person, it might have been brought up that that might be something that he wants. And it may open up some ability to negotiate and get him here so that you guys can talk about a mutual campaign against the Duragar, but if it's going to raise tensions, you absolutely do not have to, and we can find another way.
I don't know. It was given to me by my father. It's something that's been in my family for many years, many generations. Are you just going to give it to Arn? Or are you only going to give it to Arn under the expectation that he will agree to meet with me?
The expectation was to use it as leverage to try to get him to meet, but if it's a family heirloom, absolutely we can find a different way.
I could maybe try to like duplicate it. I'm kind of good with textiles.
Oh, we could try that. Could make like a copy of the cape.
You can try, but I know Arn has had his eyes on my cape for many a year.
Why does he want it so bad?
Because I have it. He doesn't quite like me.
Okay.
I say you try, but take both with you. I'm willing to lose my cape, knowing that down the line I will challenge Arn to fight and beat the shit out of him, so that I can get my cape back one day.
Okay. I will do my best to make sure it gets back to you. But absolutely, if you need to beat him up to get your cape back, don't hesitate. Like, beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
I know you can. You get, like, pretty sure I have a concussion from yesterday. Good job.
Wonderful. So, Dell, I'd say you can roll with advantage using whatever tools you have to make a copy, but you get one roll. Take a guidance roll as well, because she's just so generous with those.
Yeah, I'll give you guidance.
And at
With whatever tools I have.
I don't know if you have any tools that would
have
benefit that.
a disguise kit.
That might have, like, a sewing kit in it.
There's definitely a loom in town.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't know. Yeah. From what I've seen on the map, a lot of the things just look like rough things that are stitched together. And we did see all of the handiwork of all of the dolls. That being said, you being a textile merchant would be able to make a loom if you have proficiency with it.
I mean, with looms, no. No.
I don't know if proficiency with a loom is something that the PHB gives you.
I have dice set, disguise kit, painter's
Weaver's
supplies,
tools
and
is a
thieves'
thing.
tools.
Weaver's tools.
Weaver's tools is a tool set.
Yeah. Well, you use disguise kit or whatever you need to.
Will I'm gonna work on it on the road. Yeah, we're just gonna and I'm not gonna even try. She already said she was okay with like us giving it away. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty
Okay.
hard. I mean, it's a just describe it to you here. We'll pull it up here. It's a nice white fur coat.
Yeah, I'm not really.
So if we kill
furs
something
aren't
with
really
white
my
fur,
thing.
I mean, a loom would not help with making a fur cloak, I will say. That's like the opposite.
Well, technically it just says a white coat. So I guess it could be dyed leather. Really supple dyed leather, but it makes more sense.
Dyed leather is also not going to work on a loom.
Like me.
It's true. Yeah, that's very true. All right. Well, is there anything you guys would like to do before you head out on to the paths? Now, Bitte, you are prepared. You're gonna be a bit more prepared this time, taking your people through the mountains. But it is a hard journey to Sky Tower Shelter because they do not accept visitors as often as Wormdoom Crag does. So it is going to be pretty difficult. You won't really get lost, but failed checks will set you back, as there is a slight blizzard, slight winter storm raging right now. If you have no other materials that you guys would like, we can then just get on the road.
Yeah, I think Beta would probably pick up a couple extra hand axes, but other than that,
Dell, did you want to string that bow?
Yeah.
All right. Would you like it to be a long bow or a short bow?
I'm going to go with short bow because that's the one I have proficiency with.
Okay. So you can throw away your old short bow, and now you have a new short bow.
Hooray!
Or you can have two short bows.
Ooh.
And all right, and you guys each have they'll give you snowshoes if you didn't have them already.
I feel like we had that discussion like a session ago that we all have snowshoes.
I'm pretty sure you would have gotten them. Yeah, makes sense.
So a short bow is valued at 25 gold. And
And
I'm checking. And leather armor is valued at 10 gold. So that's
Okay.
a combination of 35 gold. Now studded leather is valued at 45.
Okay.
what are you trying to haggle here?
Trying to barter with these Goliaths to see if, like, hey, I've got like short bow, some leather, maybe some studded leather.
You want to trade your dream bow?
No, the old bow.
Okay.
So they don't have anything that is your size. They are
I
more than willing
can
to
modify
give
it.
they are more than willing to trade you, but you would not be able to utilize the studded leather until you had some time to modify it. And I would just say you would just need a night that you are not on the road to modify it.
We're always on the road.
Yeah.
You know what?
So we need to
Here,
be, like,
you
inside
guys
of-
hold on to it. We'll probably pass back through after this. I'm sure you guys could like cut it down to size, right? Yeah, I believe in you. I'll even leave the short bow as collateral.
All right. So yes, when you travel back through, you will be able to pick up your studded leather size for yourself.
Yay!
You're welcome to take a studded leather that's gigantic, but I'm just guessing that Daldadri and Bitte's sizing is so different that it would affect your ability to stealth around.
See
Maybe.
that?
It would probably affect his ability to walk.
Yeah, to do anything. It does.
Maybe.
All right. Well then, let us head on the road. Move ourselves back to the map of Pentowns. Nope. Icewind Dale. There it is. Okay. Oh, whoops. I didn't do it right. I was wondering, I was like, why is it not doing? Here we go. Wonderful. There we go. All right. So let's draw some more red lines here. Green. Good. So we went Wormdoom Crag. And now we have to go to Sky Tower Shelter. So you don't have your dog sleds, and the Wormdoom Crag people don't really have dog sleds to give you. So going back down and going around to Sky Tower isn't as efficient as just going across the mountain.
Yeah. And doesn't Bitte have like a thing that helps us with the terrain?
Yes. So
Yes.
you're not going to get lost. However, it will take longer for you to get to Sky Tower if you fail your checks.
Okay.
Now Bitte, your thing just helps you not get lost, right? It doesn't help you go faster, or it does help you go faster.
It does specifically say you're unaffected by difficult terrain. And
Okay.
I think it says your whole party is, but you ignore difficult terrain. When traveling for an hour or more, terrain doesn't slow your group's travel.
Yeah, sounds good. So, as long as you don't get lost in this first hour, and so basically, whenever you after the first hour, after each check that you go through, um, and going beyond that, until you fail one, you're going to continue to move at dog sled speed. But when you do fail one, you're going to go back down to basically from half a mile per hour to a quarter of a mile per hour. Just to give you some little range, you technically have a 9-mile trek, so it's going to take you at least 18 hours to get there. You expect you guys to be taking a hike in the mountain or taking a rest in the mountains, but Bitte does know of a few caves that you can rest along, on the way. Should you consistently fail, it could take you up to 2 days. Ogilai has said that he plans to leave in 5 days to get his whole group there by a 10-day or less. And if I'm not mistaken, when we first got up here, we are I think we're at like 18 days until the beginning of the speakers. Let's see, at session 16 we were 20 days out to the speaker council, and since then you guys have had, we'll say, roughly 4 days. You spent how many days here? The first one you came in?
So we spent one night there, I think.
2 nights. The whole day of the goat ball. You're leaving early on the second.
Okay, early on the next morning. Okay,
Yeah,
so 2 nights.
I really need to start thinking
Okay.
about a backup character, I think.
So hey, if we're spending a night here, can I spend that night like after the goat ball thing modifying armor?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Heyo.
All right, get rid of your stuff, and so you haggled.
Raids.
So you haggled your leather armor, your bow. Being that was a short bow and sized for you, it wasn't as much, so they didn't give you a full 25 gold. They only gave you 20 gold for your bow.
Okay.
And same thing for your leather armor. They only give you 5. So you need to pay 20 gold or make a deal, a successful persuasion check to cut that difference in half.
Okay. I will attempt a persuasion check, and while I'm doing that, while I'm doing like the haggling, I'm like, really? I mean, come on, man. Like, all the materials are still good materials for whatever you want to use it for, and you can always just trade that bow with someone else. And while I'm doing that, Tansy is just going to be strutting back and forth on the edge of the counter, occasionally like ruffling her feathers and
pecking like on the like pushing the bow forward, like, yeah, come on, take it. All right,
she's going to assist me in this persuasion.
All right, let's see this.
Hiya! That's pretty good.
Persuasion Tansy.
Yeah, successful. All right, you only owe 10 gold to get what you want.
Okay, worth 10 gold removed. Leather armor deleted.
Studded leather added.
And Levi, you mentioned making another character. How many days do you think you are right now?
Well, I know for a fact that my time expires before the speaker council.
And the speaker council is 21 days.
Speaker council is 15 days out from
15
right
days
now.
now.
I mean, you'll get to
Yeah.
the Wormdoom Crag, and if you want, you can push yourself all through the night. You will just be very weak arriving at Sky Tower. It's an 18-hour trek. You can do it in a full day. But
I'm down to do that and then spend a night at Sky Tower. And then how far from Sky Tower is the Yeti village?
Let's just go with like all the way over here. Oh, there's just mess with you. No, it's just like 3 miles or so, a bit further up. It's on the top of. We'll put it as.
So it's another day's travel, I'm assuming.
Not as much, and it's not to say
So like
that
half a day's travel.
who's to say that you're not gonna. You might even if they like you so much, perhaps even they'll assist you with helping you with some griffins.
Oh, that's possible.
If you succeed in helping the Sky Tower shelter, you'll get to the place within enough time, although it will still be very close, to save Levi.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
Is that a DM's guarantee?
It's a DM's possibility.
I said with enough time to did I say to save? I think I meant to say to potentially save. You'll get there with the time you will need. Go with that. Should things go your way. Should things not go your way, it will come down to how the dice go. But let's just see how the dice are going to go right here. We have a little bit more time in our session today. We're winding it up. We will likely stop as soon as we make it a Sky Tower. So let's just finish this off with some rolls and some daring travel. So, bum 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 bum. Whoever is leading
Careful,
this,
we'll get copyright striked.
yeah. Whoever is leading this group, Vite, I assume. Make your survival check.
I'm fond of it.
Can I make it with help because other people have survival?
Yeah, I'll help with survival if I can.
Cool.
Though technically I don't have proficiency in it, but I have +4.
Hot diggity.
Nice.
Anzi would like to help to give you like a bird's eye view, but she doesn't want to mess up her vest.
All right. There's a lot of checks here. So we'll do one check per 3 hours. Okay. So the first 3 hours, you are good to go. You make it at a half a mile. You make a mile and a half on your travel. So you're a mile and a half to the 9 mile travel. Even though it's a little bit more, we're just gonna do as the crow flies to make it easier on us. All right, roll it again.
Can I also add guidance?
No, you can help
No.
or you can add guidance.
I'll help then.
17.
17. Continuing to go well. The next 3 hours do good. You are now a third of the way into your journey. 3 miles of your 9 miles.
Cool.
The going has become rough though. You've already started to get high up into the mountains, although you kind of go up and down a bit. You're at a significantly higher elevation as you were climbing over these mountains to go to Sky Tower. So be wary of that. The threat of an avalanche is always should be always on your minds.
Never 0.
Never zero, yeah. All right, roll again.
22.
Good, excellent. Continuing on, you are now at 4.5. You are halfway there. Yep, halfway there.
Again.
Roll again.
Look at that.
Great. You make really good time. You're able to do, we'll say 2 miles instead of your regular 1.5. You are now at 6.5, and you think if you can get another good roll, you can knock this out in just under 2, if not 3 more rolls.
You got this.
All
I
right.
believe in you.
Excellent.
18.
Doing good. Let me draw this line here. Oh god, what is happening here? Not the line I wanted to do. No, stop it.
Bad things.
Bad things have happened. Okay, do this. Freehand, red. Excellent. All right, here we get into approach. You have left a while back the hunting grounds in the territory of Wormdoom Crag. You've not quite entered Sky Tower's shelters territories, which don't extend too far beyond their borders. However, you have seen the evidence of griffins in the area, whether it's just certain body parts or things that have, or just in general evidence of griffins. Continue on. Lead us, Bitte. Lead us not into the black. Oh God! Oh God!
Oh no. He's leading us into the black.
This is you failed significantly. So significantly,
Okay, does
unfortunately.
that cancel out with the crit that I had earlier?
It's not it unfortunately it is an avalanche. Your party is caught in an avalanche. See avalanche, page 10. Avalanche. You are going to start. It is going to start 2d6 times 100 feet above you.
Were you asking us to? Okay.
900 feet above you, an avalanche starts. I'm going to read the rules.
Anyways, I'm thinking at some point we should probably take a rest. We're kind of pushing ourselves really hard. Oh, what's that sound?
A typical avalanche is 300 feet wide, 150 feet long, and 30 feet thick. Creatures in the path of an avalanche can avoid it or escape it if they're close enough to its edge, but outrunning one alone is impossible. When an avalanche occurs, all nearby creatures must roll initiative. Roll initiative!
Dum, 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 dum.
13.
Okay, so you got it.
Mine didn't add it to the tracker. Do I re-roll or do you just want to put that in there?
Try.
You gotta click your token.
I don't know where my token is on this map.
You maybe gotta add a token.
That's fair.
All right, here we go.
I had a token.
Dun, 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 dun.
60.
Oh gosh.
Okay, no.
Can you edit your own initiative?
Yeah.
Okay, just do it then. Stop messing with it over here. All right, Ben, do you have Levi here? Yeah, here he is. All right,
Yeah,
there we go.
yeah, thanks.
22.
DM, I'll leave it up to you if you want to take the 14 or the 7.
Which one would you roll first?
I rolled the 14 first.
14 is it then. All right. Okay.
What is the avalanche roll?
It counts as 10 and 0. And it will
So it
be
does twice.
it will be
There's
at
2 avalanches.
0. Okay, wonderful. So descending. All right. So when an avalanche occurs, all nearby creatures must roll advantage. The avalanche travels 300 feet until it can travel no more. When it moves, any creatures in its space along with it move and fall prone, and they must make a DC 15 strength saving throw, taking 1d10 bludgeoning damage or half as much on a successful one. When an avalanche stops, the snow settles, buries creatures in it. Creatures buried this way are blinded and restrained and has total cover. The creatures gain 1 level exhaustion for every 5 minutes it spends buried in the snow. It can try to dig itself free as an action, breaking to the surface and ending the blinded and restrained conditions on a DC 15 successful saving or strength check, which could be athletics. Creature that fails it 3 times cannot attempt to dig itself out again. Creature that is not restrained or incapacitated. Good God, thank you.
Encapsulated.
Can spend 1 minute freeing another creature buried in the snow. Once free, that creature is no longer blinded or restrained by the avalanche. All right, so I'm very iffy here when it comes to like it travels 300 feet until it can travel no more. I guess that means it's just going to take you down to the base of the mountain.
Is that per turn?
It travels 300 feet, so at 10 and 0, it's going to travel 300 each. So it'll become, basically, once everyone has their chance to run, it's going to travel 300 feet or 600 feet before you really have a chance.
And how wide is it?
It is 150 feet long and 30 feet thick.
And how long are we, or how close are we to the edge?
Ooh, that's a good question here. Very vague on the rules. It just says...
Roll a D150.
I will say I'll roll a D75, because at the very least, you're on the you're in the thing. So D75, you are 19 feet in. So that means you need to make 131 feet.
What we're
Or we
Wait.
could just go back 19 feet.
That's true.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we're 19 feet from the edge.
Run, like, I think all of our speed is that, so just run away and hold on to something.
Damn.
That's like not even a full round's worth of movement. Just like, all right, step to the side. You see an avalanche like 3 miles in front of you. What do? Well, I don't walk into it. I'll just wait for it to go by.
I gotta move quickly. I'm never gonna pass it in time.
Now,
Alright.
you could say since you rolled a d75, we're 19 feet away from the center.
That sounds better. I don't want this to be so easy. 19 feet from the center. Okay. So you need to make at least less than 60 feet in 2 turns.
I mean, it's 75 less 19, so
Yeah.
Technically, like 1.5
56.
turns.
All right.
'Cause it
So
moves 600 feet
I mean, that's still a
around.
dash. That's still within range of a dash.
yeah. So I don't understand. Like, what's the point? Oh, because whenever you're walking on the mountain, the snowshoes, you go slow. I don't understand. Like, this seems really easy to be able to avoid. Maybe it's just because it's 900 feet up. That's probably the difference there. If it wasn't so high above you, it would be a lot more
It's still
pressing.
only one turn. Like, I guess if it was only like 300 feet away from us and someone had less than a 10 initiative, then
that would be the issue.
then they're gonna get hit.
Yeah,
but...
that would be the issue, I think.
I think that's really where it comes down. Is like your initiative was really high, generally around, and everyone's above it. And
it also helps that we have Bitte, because if it was difficult terrain, we wouldn't be able to escape with a dash.
That's true.
So Bitte being with us that it's not difficult terrain, I think is what's going to save us.
All right. So,
but does Bite's feature apply to just regular difficult terrain? Or is it only when traveling?
We are technically traveling. Are we?
I mean, I think right now we're in like a small scale movement.
Yeah, I think technically we're probably within an encounter.
Yeah. Let's
may
see.
not apply,
but even still, if you guys walked your full movement speed in 2 turns, you would avoid it.
Yeah, I mean,
even if you can't dash, you don't.
60
even have to
feet of
dash.
movement with a dash, even if it's difficult terrain, and we half that to a 30. That's 2 turns.
2 turns
it's
dashing, we can get out.
Yeah, so I mean, we're
Just
gonna
barely.
move 30, then it's gonna move 600, then we're gonna move 30, and we're out.
Right. All right. So essentially, close call, but the avalanche just washes through. Now that you're in the middle, is it possible for you to continue forward? Because going back, you're now going to have the path that Bitte was trying to take you on is now going to be on very soft snow from this avalanche. Would there be a risk of, Bitte, in your knowledge here, would there be a risk of walking over it, a chance that you would just fall anyways because your path is not there anymore? Because it is 30 feet thick. So if you say it moves over and leaves itself slowly, it's at least going to increase the size of everything by 10 feet.
You're saying, would we be able to walk on the snow left in its wake?
Yes.
Yeah, because the snowshoes are designed to. That's what snowshoes are doing. They're compacting the snow underneath you so that you're not sinking crazy far in.
Right. So you just sneak it. You would probably just sneak a little bit further in, but not really that far.
Yeah. No, it would definitely be a bit deeper than previous because it is looser, but it should still do what it's meant to.
Okay. You guys make it to the other side of the avalanche. Roll your check. You didn't really make very much distance there, and so it looks like, or at least in that last check. And so we are at 2 more checks away from finishing this and the roll and arriving at thing. All right, 14. slight failure, so you don't go as fast, but you still let's see, you'd be a quarter, so you make 0.75 of a mile there.
I think that makes sense for like in character that would be going a little bit slower and trying to be a little bit more careful.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
So you make 0.75 a mile. You still have 2 miles to go, which means it's going to be another 2 checks, unless you continue to not succeed.
Gotcha.
I think statistically advantage is better than the guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you are good to go there. Yeah, because that other survival would have made you do another avalanche.
Yeah.
All right. Last roll. As long as it's not a crit fail again, you are good to go.
Come on, bitte. Nice.
Slight slow, but
Okay.
still gets you there. And you are able to make your way finally to Sky Tower's shelter. I just walk a little bit along the edge, and now we've arrived at Sky Tower's shelter. They pull up the map here. You can put our characters, have a very brief interaction, and then we will call it a day. So you can't really see the map right now, but if you can place yourselves in the very top of it, or I can actually, let me place everybody. Because at the very top of it does not actually put you in where it needs to be. Oh my god, everyone's small. Once again, here, 1 square is 10 feet, but it's split up, so you're good. Who am I missing?
Yeah.
Oh, Bittay's fine.
My curse of tiny.
Everyone has enjoyed it.
Now everybody shall be tiny.
All right. So,
Moment of truth. Yeah.
wonderful. Man, how much dark vision just hands he have?
I don't know. A lot, apparently.
Is he giving out like vision or something?
120 feet.
I think
120
something
feet. Yeah.
something is giving out light. Or that's just me.
No, what's it called? Levi I have put that he has a
Lantern?
torch. Yeah, he has. And there are some torches right here on this wall. And there will be more inside as well. Okay, so dun 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 dun. You guys see before you. Let me find map the page real quick. Here we go. So the Sky Tower shelter is one of the 2 Goliath settlements. As you approach, it is you're very high up in the mountains. 15,000. You're basically like on the northwest face of a 15,000 foot mountain, and you probably like 1,300 feet up. You know, it's difficult for everyone who is not familiar or accustomed to this, even the time that you spent in Wormdoon Crag, because Wormdoon Crag was only, well, it says it's the same thing, but we will definitely say you've gone up at least 3,000 to 4,000 feet in elevation. I mean, just look at the clouds. That's clouds off to the side of this.
Damn.
Yeah, you're high up. All right. You are very high up. So there is a 10-foot wide stone causeway that hugs the side of the mountain and ascends to Sky Tower shelter. 6 griffins, as you can see, currently encircle around, and you can kind of catch their bodies. I guess you wouldn't maybe be able to see all 6 of them. Maybe Bitty would, knowing just that from his familiarity of the town. But you definitely hear the shrieks of the griffins, warning the Goliaths as you arrive. Oh, okay. Next one I read is literally 6 griffins circle above you, shrieking at your approach. So yeah, you definitely see 6 of them. They descend until they're a few hundred feet away from you, but come no closer. At the end of the entranceway is a 10-foot tall barricade made of wood and stone, set with a crude gate made of thick lumber and festooned with metal blades. Gaps in the gate allow you to see an unusually tall figure in hide armor, standing 10 feet behind it, clutching a great axe. Beyond this figure is a higher ledge with 5 equally towering figures standing atop it.
So,
So,
Salutations! Beta waves.
yeah, I was gonna see if like there was that.
there. You should be able to at least see everybody now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. The door was, for whatever reason, obviously you can just, if you can see that stuff, you should be able to see what's behind it. So, salutations, you shout out.
Yep.
Hmm.
Which is what he normally yells when he, well,
Arrives.
when he's greeting anyone, but that's how he's previously hailed them when he's been passing through.
You hear the familiar voice of Arn grunting in his usual manner of, well, his lack of patience. Yes, Bitte. What do you need?
We have come to speak on important matters between the tribes, as well as for a passage further into the high mountain.
Do you come on your own accord?
We come on our accord and on behalf of Ogala.
Oh,
Rosemary's gonna reach into her pack and pull out the cape. Just to, like, hold it up so that he can see.
oh. Tell me, how did you get this cape?
It was offered as a potential peace offering, and we wish to speak.
No, lie. Say something like you beat her in a contest.
Also, I did beat her at wrestling.
And how well did
I
you?
did.
How well did you bloody her?
Say you took off her arm.
Well, quite well.
I didn't ask how well. I said, actually, I did ask how well.
You did. That's literally what you asked.
Or just like, Bitte, do you just wish to move on, or are you here to talk?
Both.
I think you said both.
Yes. He just grunts. It's what is it? Early morning, it's late evening. If you probably left really early, you'd still probably be close. You'd be early. Let's say it's like 2 a.m. I will come and speak to you again when the dawn breaks. He just kind of walks away.
Wait, are we just supposed to sleep out here?
Like, is there any, like, motion of anyone behind him that we could potentially come in?
Nobody is gesturing to allow you to come in, no. The 5 Goliaths that were standing like on the ledge, you can see, just kind of still stand there. Their javelins in hand. Not readied, but, really close.
Turned a bit to him, like, should we camp here? Is there, like, a cave just outside, or?
The front gate is as good a place as any. It's really all snow. And Beta starts pulling out their tent and setting it up right in front of the gate. He walks up to the gate and he puts his hand on it, and then he turns around and he takes like 4 big steps. And he goes, yeah, and then he starts setting up the tent. So it's far
Nice.
enough that when they open the gate, they don't have to already have the tent moved.
All right, there's your tent. Oh, does it see it? Do you see it? Oh, no.
No.
Wonderful. It's on the wrong. There's your tent.
Oh, look at that!
Little tent token. All right. So yeah.
You're kidding. Like they're gonna come open the door. We're just No, you're serious. We're camping out here. Okay. Cool.
Relax, Dylan. It's good for you to sleep in the cold once in a while. As Beta builds up a little fire on top of like a big a big stone that's part of his tent pack.
Just carries a giant stone around.
It's a firestone.
Yeah, it's just like a slate. It's like the structure to his backpack
Oh, nice.
is what he kind of uses it for. It also keeps the weight, close against his body for balance and support. Yeah, he pulls that out and then he just puts together a bunch of stuff. He probably took one or two. I imagine they probably have like Swedish fire stove things or like pre-cut in the thing or like bored out to do rocket stove things
Right.
with the two holes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the rocket stove things easier.
Yeah.
So he probably has a couple of those and he just sets those up in the center of the tent. Like, we'll be plenty warm, I promise. And he's got, all the hides and tarps and shit laid out.
Rosemary probably is accustomed to like a little bit of camping with Bitte, and she's helping set up the camp. Like getting the fire started, getting the tent all like nailed down while Bitte gets the stove going.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Levi, Dale, Nadri, anything you want to say before we end what are your characters doing before we end our session?
This is bullshit.
I don't think Levi's too upset about it. It's not like they haven't been out in the cold over the past couple months, anyways. Obviously, it's a little bit colder because of the elevation, but we'll make do with what's best. If this is how to, gain the trust of this clan up here, then we got to do what we got to do.
Kind of rude.
Rosemary's just gonna like pull Dell over so he can help with the tent a little bit, and then just be like, I feel like this might be kind of like the tunnel thing for them. It's just like they want to see kind of what kind of people we are. Maybe. Or maybe they're just jerks. I don't know. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue to assume that they're just jerks, but I will try to look at it as if this is some kind of ritual of passage.
It most definitely is not.
Yeah.
And that is where we will end our session. Oh, sorry. Go on, Bita.
I was going to say, yeah, Beta goes, oh no, this is just them being kind of jerks because of high tension.
Yeah. And Arn just not
be
being
on
happy.
the gate before we go to bed.
Oh, God. So yeah, that's a great session, y'all. I hope whoever is listening and who does listen to the future enjoyed it as well. Once again, we are Everybody's a Mimic, an actual play 5th edition webcast playing Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. This was our 19th, 20th session.
Big number. One of our. It's been a session.
It's been a session.
Our 9.5 session.
Definitely was our 20th session, actually. Very confident with that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We are officially, we're well over a year. We're actually just a year and 3 months over. But 20 sessions. Cool. We're in the second phase of the book. We're making strides towards the third phase. We're building allies for the fight against the Duergar that could or potentially come up, as well as maybe even allies down the road as we fight Oral in the Everlasting Winter. Once again, my name's Corey. I am your Dungeon Master. I was joined today by all 4 of my lovely party members, who each this session probably had fantastic opportunities for their characters. But let's go down the line. We had Blake.
I played Dell.
We had Rachel.
I play Rosemary.
We had Carson.
Playing Beat the Yetimated.
And finally, rounding it out is Ben.
Playing Levi.
Yes, and now we are a party of all honored clan members of the Thun Kalaga Goliath clan. And next session, we will be meeting the Arnathi, Akanathi, Goliath clan of the Sky Tower Shelter, trying to get them to put aside their feud, and then hopefully even moving beyond to assist Levi with his gestational problems. Hope y'all
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he's got. Gastrointestinal issues.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys
Yeah.
enjoyed the session. Thank you. I hope everyone enjoyed the session. Thank you all for listening in, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
See y'all next time.
Love you.
Salam.
Bye.
Bye.